Take the journey, come on, let's go. Ooh yeah, where the stars and secrets glow. Some Nation X radios glow. In the night, we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Night sky whispers in the dark. Secret trails will leave a mark. Follow close, ignite that spark. We're alive, it's just the start. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. Every heartbeat, pure delight. So mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. It's every heartbeat, pure delight. Mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rain, come on, let's go. Feel it, oh yeah, where the stars and secrets glow so bright. Some Nation X radios glow, oh no. In the night, we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go, go. Where mysteries are shown, shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, oh yeah. Come with us and let it go, go.
Unraveling the mysteries, secrets in the night. We travel through the cosmos, ready for the flight. Together we'll shine, casting shadows aside. In the heart of the rhythm where our dreams collide.
Join the sub-Nation X quest, the truth is our guide. In the vast expanse, it's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright.
From the sub-Nation X quest, the truth is our guide. In the vast expanse, it's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright. SNX radio, let the truth
Let's explore the spots. Heavy bass drops with tight beats.
Illuminate the shadows, the echo of our call.
On this roller rink we'll never fall.
Feel the energy rising, can you sense the spark? As we dive deeper into the cosmic arc.
Stories of the universe, mysteries unfold. In the heart of SNX, where the truth is gold. Every note we play, every line we write, crafting our legacy, shining ever bright.
SNX radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light. In this cosmic dance, we're connecting the dots.
Tune into the frequency, let's explore the spot. Here in the spotlight, we're taking our turn. With the fire in our hearts, let the passion burn. SNX radio's call, ringing through the air. Together we rise, together we dare.
So join us now, let the rhythm flow. With SNX radio, we're ready to go. Unraveling the mystery side by side, we stand hand in hand. In this dance of truth, let the story expand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of SNX Radio. I am Coley and going to be your host into the unknown tonight. And we have with us our very special guest. But before I get going there, I want to say hello to everyone in chat. Absolutely wonderful to see all of you. Kurt W75 holding the wrench. Nice to see you as always. Always appreciating you guys. Really do appreciate everything. Spider Bite, Kitty Cat Walk, Spiritual Ascension. Hey girl, nice to see you. Midnight Mark 22, you're back. Nice. We got Robin Ray 7817. Nice. Matt Pack 777 again. Always nice to see you. As you know, Chris, nice to see you. Welcome. Melwood 40. I hope I said that correct. And Tim Mouth Mothman. Glad you came back. Always nice to see you. We got Mike. We got Mike Nation W6C. Nice to see you. Welcome. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone. We had Midnight Watchers earlier. Trisha Collins, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Nice and welcome. Welcome. I don't want to. Did I get? Yeah, I think I got you. Got you. If I missed anybody, I apologize, and I will Oh, Philip Neal. Hey, Philip. Welcome. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Darrell Denton will be right up your alley. So tonight, yes, we have a very special guest, a returning guest as always. But I mean, Darrell, I can't say enough good things about Darrell. He's absolutely amazing. So if you have not, you want to join Bigfoot Believers and Other Creatures on Facebook. He's got one of the biggest Facebook groups, private Facebook groups. So Tennessee Bigfoot Man. I mean, without further ado, Darrell's got so many exciting things going on. He's got absolutely phenomenal experiences. And he's one of the best. He's one of the most authentic and genuine people I know. He was a mayor in Tennessee. People don't know what that's like. I mean, we were just talking behind the scenes, and he's never done wrong by the people. So without further ado, let me bring Darrell on, and I'll let him brag about himself a little bit, even though he probably won't. I'll catch him up on it. But yeah, welcome, Darrell. Welcome back. It's always nice to have you and see you. So I've been looking forward to this.
Sure. Thanks for having me again, Cody. It's always good to be on the show with you.
Yeah, so you got some exciting stuff coming up. You got some documentaries in the works. You got some, some stuff going on. Why don't you
We
tell
got a lot
everybody
of
to come up?
we got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, Ron Moorhead, my best friend, one of them. I have what I call two best friends of my lifetime, and he's one of them. We have our own show. We just started last Monday night. It's called Two Real Cryptid Legends, and we did very well in our first show. And thanks to all the great people who turned out to watch us, and my great friend Michelle DeRoches. And
I
we got a
saw
couple
that.
documentaries going, and I've got a movie possibly in the works, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in my world. But it's a fun thing. It's something that I've got into, and I enjoy doing, and I appreciate you having me back on again.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now. I was pulling it up to get the link for YouTube. I didn't want to pull the sound here real quick. Um, was it you're on UPRN? Are you on a different channel also? I know that you guys are broadcasting on their channel also. Do you where would people find you? Just real quick we're coming out of the
We
gate
are
here.
we go through UPRN because Michelle DeRochers is our a moderator and our manager of our show, but we also can be found on YouTube at Two Real Cryptid Legends. Two Real Cryptid Legends. It's Ron Moorhead and myself, and we're going to be doing a bi-monthly show. We'll be on Monday nights at 10 Eastern. Twice a month as of right now until we decide to go maybe a little more later on. But Ron's trying to
So
get
is that on
settled.
the Cryptid podcast? Would that be what it's on?
I think that's what it's on. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah,
Because I
but
see right here the Cryptid podcast, so it shows that, I just want to, you guys are doing really well. Two Cryptid Legends live, Ron Moorhead and Darrell Denton on the Cryptid podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and share this link to your guys' channel. It looks
hey,
like,
thank
is it
you.
Dano? Or is this the wrong one? It looks like Dano is the one that
No,
is supposed to be in.
Dano got us. He helped us get started last spring, but Michelle is pretty much handling all that now for us. We did work the deal out with them at UPRN, so she handles pretty much everything for us. Which is we're so terrible at tech stuff that we're thank God we have her. So Ron and
Oh,
I,
that's
not
amazing. That's
yeah, it really did.
amazing.
Turned out very well. She's such a lot of help, and we really appreciate her very much. But
I'm
anyway,
sorry,
we're doing
Darrell.
good. We had a big turnout the other night. We had a lot of people watching around the world, and it was kind of exciting for us. So
That was just go ahead. The plug to my computer fell out, so I'm just getting it plugged back in. So just go ahead.
that's all
Yeah,
right.
did you just bear with me on this one? I'm just like at the hot mess express today, but
Well,
I was able to tune in. Yeah, that's awesome.
you just had a show yourself, so you're probably a little tired though. You've had back-to-back shows, so I've done a few of those. Quite a few of them lately. I've had back-to-back shows, so they're kind of exhausting at times.
I did an interview earlier, so it was just the plug to my computer. But I love doing because once you're in it and you're in that like groove, it's like easy to keep going. But you're right though, you do put so much time and like energy of your own in there that it definitely can be a little tiring from time to time. But yeah, I see you all over. How do you balance all of this? I mean, Whispering Portals, Laura, hello, yes. But how do you balance all of this? I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. Thanks, Tim
Well,
Mothman,
I'm
for
just
doing that.
pretty blessed to have so many people that care about me and appreciate what I have been involved in over this large number of years, and the same with Ron, and the same with Martin Groves and Mike Smith, and just I've got a good team, and we spent a lot of time in the woods, and we've had a lot of things happen, and I've had a lot of things happen in my lifetime, and it seems like it's continuing. I juggle it pretty well. I'm trying to work at the same time, and trying to live in 2 states, that's a little difficult because I miss my family and I try to get back home as often as I can. So that part probably is more difficult than any of the other part.
Oh, yeah, because you're traveling back and forth, I mean, pretty well across country. I mean,
Yeah, it's 988 miles home. Yeah,
wow.
it's 16 hours. Yeah.
I bet she's worth it, though.
Well, it's my kids are definitely worth it. My
Oh,
family
yes, yes,
don't.
yes.
So, she doesn't always go with me, and I have a pretty good lady that's with me. But traveling is it didn't bother me as much as lately. It's gotten a little bit monotonous. Don't like it as much as I did. So,
Are you driving back and forth, Darrell?
oh yeah, I drive. I drive all the time. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, so you're not even flying. Oh, wow. How
yeah.
so what's like how long does it take you to get from point A to
I
point B?
Well, it's from here to where my house there. Me and my oldest daughter and grandson have a house together, and I also stay at my mom and dad's too. But it's 16 hours.
Wow.
It's
That's a long time in a car.
988 miles. So even before I started doing that, I was traveling across the country doing conferences and all kinds of stuff to do with Bigfoot, Dogman, whatever. And Ron Moorhead and I traveled pretty much together a year or so there, and so did Martin Groves and Martin Nunley traveled with us too. And one stretch there I think we did about 18 conferences in 2.5 months, and
You guys did a lot. I know I
that,
read that. I was like, "Oh my gosh, how did you do it?"
I wouldn't do it again. Not that. That was pretty difficult. It might have been 3.5 months. I'm sitting here thinking about it, but it was a lot of fun, and people don't realize you make a little money for the conferences speaking at them, but the time you add up all your time, gas, and wear and tear on your vehicle, I don't know that you really make anything. You just really got a lot to do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet, I bet. And we do have, it looks like Shelly Haston, Shorgood. It says it says, "I can't wait for the next Darrell and Ron show. You guys did great the other night. There's nothing but
Oh,
people
thank
have
you so
watched it.
much.
That's
Thank you
awesome."
so much. The number I heard, I'm still having a hard time believing, but the number that they gave us from the radio station is 1.3 million viewers. So
Yes.
I'm having a hard time believing that number, but that's what they told us. So
No, it is so true because once it gets circulated, I know I love hearing like it's fun to watch it. Like I get to watch it pop up on the map and see it go across country. But it is. I definitely believe that they've got a solid standing across the country. So that's awesome. Couldn't have happened to some better people. That's all I'm gonna say.
well, I mean, that's very kind of you. You're pretty special yourself, Coley.
Aw. Yeah, so if you guys have not checked out too, I'm gonna get your Facebook group. If you've not joined Darrell's group, I have to say it's probably one of the most groups with integrity and what I have seen that these guys, I mean, Darrell keeps a great eye on it. He keeps a great space so you feel safe and you can share your experiences. He's great at promoting people that are in his group. And I absolutely it's been a joy to watch and to see. I just like I said, I don't know how in the heck you do it all,
Well, I
but
have a lot of
you
help
do.
in my group. I can't take all that. I will never take all of that the kindness from nice, kind words on my group. I did establish a group and I set the guidelines, but I have super good moderators and admins, and they are just strict as they can be. Everyone's welcome to tell their story or share their encounter or their experiences, and feel free to not be ridiculed or criticized because we don't allow any of that in the group. And if you want to do that, you'll be out of the group real quick. I think we've ousted about 15,000 people. I hate to say that, but it's true. And we're
That's
saying
good though. That's
about
needed in a lot of groups.
about 70,000 members right now. So we would probably be closer to 100,000 members if we hadn't ousted so many people. But we give people a warning. But I mean, when they just come in and be rude, then there's no warning needed. You just need to hit on down the highway. So
No, I've seen it. I've applauded it. I'm like, man, I wish more groups were run with such integrity like yours. And somehow you guys keep an eye on everything. And just to have that kind of group, even Tim Mothman's in the thing. He says he's a group expert too. He loves your group. That's awesome.
well, man,
Yeah,
I
there's
appreciate that, Tim. Thank you very much.
Yep, it looks like so there's this is awesome. Everybody's saying what's up, how are you, Darrell? You have a ton of people that just absolutely love and adore you. I know I was talking to Jessica Jones and she's like, Darrell is she even says, she's like, he's one of my favorite. And she's like, and my mom, she's like, she just absolutely loves him. I'm like, God, I cannot imagine that you run into much resistance. You just have that real that about you where you just genuinely love and you care about people, and that's really hard to come by and find nowadays from the
Well,
more and
I
more.
have to
So
say that I really think the world of Jessica, and I don't know her mom, but thanks, Mom. I'm glad you're a fan, and makes me feel good there. But I just I do care about people. I'm a little different than most people, and most of my team's that way. We're all real caring people, and we believe in right and wrong, and we try to be straightforward on everything we do.
that's a good way to be because you don't get that very often. You really don't. So tell us about some of these. You got some documentaries coming up. You got a movie coming up. I mean, this is exciting stuff. Really exciting stuff.
Well, we got a documentary coming up. The first thing coming up will probably be somewhere around February. We're going into an area that I've never been in, and I've been in some pretty crazy areas. I've been all over the South anyway, from the Blue Ridge Mountains to the Georgia mountains, North Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Some strange places there, but there is no stranger place than the land between the lakes of Tennessee and Kentucky. That is our main research area. Um, where we're going at this time, I've never been to. The gentleman who asked me to do a documentary on these creatures in an area, undisclosed area that he had picked out, not our research area, and I would never go in and do a documentary without my team, and they're going with me, Ron Moorhead and Martin Groves and Mike Smith, and we're going to have a pretty interesting documentary. I really don't know what to expect. What I've been seeing and all the research we've been doing, and the gentleman who's really got involved in promoting this, Ethan Oakes. There's a lot of creatures in these areas like I've never seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of Bigfoot and I've seen dogmen too, but I've never seen creatures like what I'm seeing that I'm getting pictures of. That it's pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, Ethan is, and I had the opportunity to get to know Ethan. He definitely has. I mean, I've seen some pretty compelling evidence from him, and he really is so. I mean, you can tell that he's so passionate about this, which is
He really
excellent.
is. He really is. He's a pretty down to earth guy. I've actually become to be pretty good friends with Ethan, and I think you have to be that when you're going into an area like that, and you're putting your team in that area and in harm's way, and especially with some people going in that you don't know that well.
Oh yeah. Oh
I don't
yeah.
normally go into an area without my team because I can count on them. I'm very well familiar with how they operate in an area, and this area here is like nothing that I've ever seen, and quite frankly, it's dangerous. So I don't know if these creatures are going to attack us, or if they're going to run, or if they're going to cloak or go interdimensional, or I don't know what they're going to do. I've never seen these type creatures before.
So what is it? What kind? Can you describe what kind of creatures that they're encountering there, or what's going on?
Well, some of the creatures that we've had reports on are anywhere from 16, 17 foot tall. Some of them even possibly taller than that. A Bigfoot type creature, a cat type creature, a dogman type creature, even some creatures that I don't know. I've never seen anything more, almost like an alien looking type creature in that area also. And
Wow.
they've got domain that they live in, actually houses type structure they've carved out of the hillside and cave areas, and even some things that looks very similar to a pyramid.
Oh, that's it's so like the stick structures. Midnight Mark 22, you're right, Darrell. I got ousted the other day. I said Bigfoot hunting and I didn't mean hunting. I meant, you know how you say UFO hunting or ghost
Right.
hunting or like, so I apologize because I got a little railroaded on the comments. But yes, thank you, Midnight Mark 22, for reminding me. But yes, and searching, I guess, and two people hear this, they're like, not everybody. You have to kind of build a rapport, from my understanding. And like I said, I've come close to him, but I've never come face to face. I've gotten the smells, I've seen the stick structures, I've the footprints, the whole 9 yards, but I've not come face to face yet. So what do you think? I mean, they seem pretty choosy. They seem like they know what's going on. People say don't bring anything that they don't, but it does seem like you kind of have to build a rapport with them. Is that be fair enough to
Well,
say?
100%. First of all, you're not going to see a Bigfoot if they don't have an interaction with you. Because, and what I mean by that, they have a way of picking up on the type person you are. I don't know how they do it, but they're so very intelligent and have special abilities that we can't quite wrap our brain around. But they can feel the intention that you have while you're there, and if it's an evil intention that you're there to harm one of them, or for a reason they don't like, then they're going to run you out of there. Or some of these creatures can be really aggressive. I know there's some that I've run into that I wouldn't want to run into again, and they're not friendly. Um, and I quite frankly think that some of them would probably take your life.
I've heard that. I want to. Kurt W75 wants to know, Darrell, have you had more activity in locations you find organically on your own, or investigating in your area that you've been asked to look at?
Probably both. Um, I get asked a lot. Back 10 years ago, I had three teams. There was 3 to 4 of us on a team, and we were just constantly just railroaded by so many people wanting us. They reached out to us on regular SMS texting, or they would call. The people knew referred us, and we had so many people wanting us to come to their property to tell us what kind of creature they had that we just couldn't cover it. And that was all in the Tennessee, Kentucky area. And, it would take an hour or two, sometimes 3 or 4 hours driving to get to some of those locations. And it got fairly expensive. Plus, it's just on top of the fact of having the time to do it and having the number of people needed to go out and investigate the area. And most of those cases were some type of creature. Sometimes it was a paranormal, more of a paranormal type thing that I think they might have been experiencing, because we never seen a creature or found any evidence of a creature. But normally we did, and most of the time it was a Bigfoot of some type. Now, I personally think there's quite a few different type of Bigfoot. I know there are. I know there's at least, I don't know how many different type. I think I've encountered 4 to 5 different type. Some of them are friendly. The ones that make the X's in the woods, the trees where they break them and they form a live green tree, they form the X markers, or even from the deadfalls, they lay them on the trail, the game trails. Those are the ones that you would prefer to meet, because if they pick up on your energy and realize that you're there not to harm them, and you need to talk to them when you go in, ground yourself and tell them, hey, I'm not here to harm you. I'm just visiting your home, because that's their home, not yours. It's no different than them walking into your living room in your house. You're walking into their living room when you go to their home. And if they don't want you there, they're going to let you know real quick.
Yeah, no, that's true. So do you think that they're in this reality full term, or do you think it's more of a multi-dimensional or interdimensional, I guess would be a better term?
At one time, I thought they were complete. At one time, I think I've changed my mind several times over the last 30 years on those creatures. And I do think they're flesh and blood. I do think that. I think there are different types, like I said. Some of the types are different than the other ones. And the first one I seen that was called a wood booger. I hope I never see another one of those. It was not friendly at all, and I haven't heard anybody that's ever seen one that thought they were friendly. The second type I call the forest people. They were super friendly. They never showed me any aggressive nature. They basically just wanted to learn about me, study me, and me learn about them, and open their home up to allow me to do that as long as I respected them and earned their trust. So, yes, I think they do have. I'm starting to think more and more all the time that they have abilities that we will never. Our minds don't allow us to accept the fact of what I'm about to say, but um, I go back to years ago, Dr. Matthew Johnson, when somebody first told me about him, and he's a close friend of mine now, and I highly respect the gentleman, Dr. Matthew Johnson, Dr. J. He has the Camp Xanu. Michael Patterson called me, not the Michael Patterson from Canada, but Michael Patterson from Blue Ridge Crypto and Sasquatch that I helped start back in 2015. You need to listen to this Matthew Johnson guy. He's had some of the same experiences you did. And after I heard it, it blew my mind. He had a lot of similar things that I did. And these creatures that make the X's he calls them the Xanu. That's what the X stands for. It makes perfectly sense to me. The guy's incredible. He has incredible abilities with these creatures. Most of his are really interdimensional compared to what I've dealt with. The ones I had on the river that I spent nearly 5 years with, and they were like my own family. I just was really close to them. I never seen them any other way but in pure natural, blood, a natural blood creature. They weren't interdimensional.
Wow.
But I do think that they have special abilities to transform themselves. I don't know if all of them do, but I think some of them do. I know I've ran into some experiences in Cheatham County, Tennessee, where I seen a light bulb that looked like a light bulb coming through the woods in the middle of the night. Watched it for 100 yards, and it turned into an opossum.
Oh, wow.
Then it went back to the same area, and two large orbs about the size of a beach ball come down from the trees and hovered above the ground. And that was a whole different type of creature because I believe it was some type of entity with the Bigfoot, or was the Bigfoot. Can I prove that? No. Do I 100% believe that? No, but I'm pretty close to that number.
I've seen stuff like that with UFOs. I feel like there's a crossing point with all of them, but that's funny that you describe it like that.
I think, Coley, all this stuff's connected. I really believe that. I don't know exactly how, but there's so many people that I hear say I seen some type of light in the sky, then we seen a Bigfoot. So, I haven't experienced that, but I've heard lots of people say that, and there's a lot of people that have a connection between the UFO and Bigfoot. And my close friend in my group, Jennifer Appleton, she's practically my vice president of the group. She's such a close friend. She's experienced just about anything you can think of. She's been abducted several times over her lifetime.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And she lives in Tennessee, and she has probably more creatures on her farm than anybody I know. She has Bigfoot on her farm. She has Dogman on her farm. She has all kinds of stuff on her farm, and even UFOs flying over it at night. So, and she's had a lot of experiences with those type things, especially the interdimensional part.
It is crazy, but there is definitely a line where they all cross. Nobody can actually map that out or where that is, but I know within my heart of hearts there is too. I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, really it is. You know, people that I guess the thing that I think the biggest reason we got into the LBL, the Land Between the Lakes area, that we researched so much, especially Martin Groves and myself, when we started researching that right after his experience in 1993, is our biggest reason for doing what we do is we want people to be aware of what's out there, because your average ma and pa that goes into the woods to camp out with their kids, or the grandparents taking the grandkids, these people, the normal person doesn't know what's out in the woods,
Oh yeah.
and they really don't understand, and they don't believe in that type of stuff. They think it's just hearsay or a myth of some kind until something happens. But there are missing people, and there are people they never find, and they'll find the tent shredded or what's left of the tent, and people aren't ever found. So you know, we want people to be aware of what's out there. I don't think all these creatures are bad. I really don't. I know there's good ones because I've been around good ones, but there's also bad ones. And if you don't know the area you're going into, first of all, don't ever go alone. Do not go
Right.
alone. I used to do it all the time. I used to go alone by myself. I used to camp in the woods 2 or 3 nights in a row by myself. But I wouldn't tell anybody to do that now. And if you're going to go into an area that's real remote, make sure you carry a personal beacon, which can at least pinpoint where you're at if you have a problem or some type of emergency and you need to have your way out of there. But don't go to the woods by yourself, and especially a lady. Some of these creatures are real fine to ladies, and I wouldn't, especially a younger lady, do not go in the woods by yourself.
Well, I was talking to Jessica Jones. I know you had saw like some of the stuff I was posting, and she said that I can't remember what battleground she was at, but she said basically what happened there were rituals. It was the land wanted the blood of of the people. There was things that were done there that drew in certain kind of cryptids that were there. She said that they threw rocks at her tent. She said it was so intense, like through the whole thing. She said you can't just assume, and this is the thing, you can't assume they're all good. You can't assume they're all bad. It's like there's that spectrum
There's
that they
good
go
and bad in
across.
everything. There really is. There's good and bad in everything. I mean, you can't just relate anything to being one or the other. There's just a mixture of both. And Jessica's just phenomenal.
Oh
She really
yeah, she's
is. A very good researcher. And she goes out with her team. She has a pretty good sized team, and they'll stay out in the woods for 3 or 4 nights.
no,
And,
she's
and
great. She's like when I was on Spaced Out Radio after hours when she was on the trails, and she'd be like, "I'm going out and I'm initiating. I'm bait tonight." Like we were goofing around. She's like, "I'm going out as the burrito or the she's
yeah,
that girl." I said, "You've got kahunas out
she
there."
is. Jessica is she's a pretty brave gal. She really is. And
Oh,
on top of the fact is she's just such a good person. So I enjoy it, and I always enjoy hearing her stories. I think we were at the Georgia conference last year, me and Ron and her, and I enjoyed listening to her stories. They were going out into the Georgia mountains that night when we were there, and she Jessica's pretty. She'll get out there with the creatures. She's not really worried about it.
no, she's not. She's definitely not. And Darrell, as a surprise, we have somebody backstage that wants to come out here for a minute and chat with you. Um, None other than welcome, Ethan.
Hey,
Ethan, what's
Darrell.
up, brother?
Hey, brother. She invited me.
Wow, man, that's
It's been-
amazing, man. I'm glad you came on. Good deal, brother. Good deal.
So I heard Darrell talking about these creatures, and he's right. I actually, since I've came home from Solomon Island, seeing them, I've had every day get stronger and stronger with my vision, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's happening to me. But I've been in the area that me and Darrell is going to go into. And I've been searching around, seeing what's going on, and there's a lot of strange things. Some of these creatures can go invisible, and I have pictures of it. And I don't know if I should post them on Facebook and stuff, but I don't tell the location, but I'm trying to show people these creatures can go invisible, and they can appear, and they can change the look, I think, as well. I've seen several creatures coming out of one creature, it almost looks like, and there will be another head coming out of it, like he's morphing, like he's changing into something. And
you also seen some that went into trees also.
Yes, and way up in the trees, like there's no weight to them. It's weird. It's very weird, unusual. It's almost like it's an entity power, or I'm not sure. I also find a lot of in the location we are going in. I've also found a lot of areas where it would be every 20, 30 feet on Google Earth on the ground. And I would look to the left, and it'd be like every 20 feet, there would be an area that looks paranormal, where it would be 2, 3 exact trees with the markings all the way up that tree, exact same. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And I would look, and I would start to stare around in there, and then I would locate a creature. And every time.
I think the most shocking thing is some of the areas that you found, there's like 40 or 50 of these creatures.
Yes. Very,
Where
very
are you
crazy.
taking Darrell, Ethan? Are you taking him somewhere safe, or is he? We got to ask here.
It's not me taking Darrell. It's Darrell. Darrell knows.
Darrell taking Ethan.
Yeah, Darrell's the one that found the location, and
Ethan, I'm asking the question.
I went in there and found something that we were like amazed by.
No, I know.
We found pyramids. We found pyramids, and we found not just one. And it was during. I'll just put it this way: it was during me researching, and I was researching a location Darrell wanted me to look into. And Darrell says, I think I seen a pyramid in the picture. And I'm like, what? So I went back and I did a live feed and went into that location, and there was pyramids everywhere. And these pyramids weren't the same. They have different designs on them, hieroglyphic designs, different little structures, but they're pyramids, and they're 60 feet, 100 feet, 150 feet, I think was the highest one. Yeah. There's also creatures all over these pyramid areas on the ground. Can't say. So there's also creatures on the ground, and we had these pictures and videos looked at by an architect engineer and his partner, and they claimed that these are pyramid structures. So,
well, one thing about it, when we go riding in on horseback, we're either going to get attacked, or they're going to run, or they're going to go interdimensional. One of the three is going to happen. So
I forgot you had to go in by horseback.
It won't be the first time that I've been into an area where there's been creatures, but I've never been in an area where there's some 17 to 35 foot tall creatures, and some of them carrying weapons.
Yes.
These creatures are carrying weapons. They've got
and yeah, and this is the thing, is they'll be partway invisible, and you can tell that's exactly what's going on. And they're invisible, they'll be holding like a staff in his hand, almost like a walking stick with some kind of structure on it. And I can almost make it out so perfect on clearing that picture up. It's just I can't pinpoint it for sure. I'd love to know
you come up with some pretty good shots of some almost perfect dog man and Bigfoot too. I mean, really good pictures of them. Yeah. And some big ones too, really big ones. So,
I've got shots where we're going that are, one is probably, it's in between a couple trees, and it's an alien looking head coming out, and it must be 20 feet in there, in between them trees, a 20-foot head of an alien structure. It's on Facebook. I posted it, and you can clearly see it. It's just like, whoa. And that's where we're going. We're going to a pretty crazy pretty crazy, scary place.
Yeah, the worst part about it is the waiting. I'm ready to go right now. Let's get on with it. So,
Darrell.
Yeah, yes. See the Ethan. So I know you're in Wisconsin, right? Is that where you're kind of based, or
Yes.
you finish up?
Yes. Yeah, I've been living here for about 4 years. I came from Phoenix, but I actually grew up in Michigan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're not. I think you're only a few hours from me in Iowa. So I was just kind of wondering where you're taking Darrell. If you can give us any sort of
well,
hint as to what's going on.
I think Darrell and Ron and Martin and Mike are taking Ethan. So,
Darrell, we're trying to get some information on it.
I know everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know.
I think it's probably the first time that I've ever considered going into a habitat like this that I'm really starting to think about being heavily armed. So normally I don't think that way, but with this kind of stuff, I'm trying to think what's the safest, best thing to carry. And you know, Ron Moorhead keeps telling me he's riding the fattest horse. That way, if they attack, they eat the horse, not him. So
I'm going in peaceful, and of course I'm going to walk up front because I can see entities, and I don't know why, but I can see them. But I'm at peace with them, and in my life, I'm an older guy, so I'm peaceful. I'm very peaceful, and I have Lakota in my blood. And I'm peaceful. I've learned a lot about my ancestors, and I'm very peaceful with whatever it is. And I'm just going to straight up ask them, can we come in and see your home? You know, we don't mean no harm. Exactly. Keep the weapon down. We just want to come in and be your friend. See what happens, man. You know?
We're going to walk in and we're going to say, we are here to visit you, the Chayitanka.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, Ethan can wear the burrito outfit like Jessica Jones talked about.
Yeah. If not, hopefully we have it all on film for everybody, you know. But we don't want to put the location out there because we don't want any traction to that location. And we also, you know, we're trying to keep it top secret because where we're going, we don't need any kind of anything, you know. We just want to go in and do our thing and come out. And, you know, we already know it's dangerous enough with what's there. So
oh yeah, I can imagine. And you have, I don't know if you, I'm sure you do realize, Ethan, but you've got one hell of a crew here with Darrell and I mean Ron and Martin. I mean, there's some of the best. Darrell,
I don't mean any harm with this. I'm just wanting to prove these things exist. And hey, man, you know, if it's the new world changeover, then we got to get used to it, whatever. But they're out there, just like Darrell says. And I've been researching it hard every day, you know, after we became a team. And I'm all over that area, just seeing what I can find, what we have to worry about. You know, what's our quickest way in and out?
Well, you know, like I was telling you before Ethan came on, man, he's pretty credible. I've enjoyed working with him. So I think we're going to be good. You know, we're just going to have to be cautious and be smart, and you know, not just ride in like a herd of wild people. Just kind of track in kind of slowly and hopefully announce to them that we're mean them no harm. We're there just to see them and them to see us and for us to learn from each other. That's the hope. So that's all we can really prepare for. Because I don't want to go into any kind of firing at the creatures or them attacking us. But I mean, that's possible. That could happen. But you know,
I mean, if they attack us, we got to do what we got to do. You know, it's very dangerous, and you know, it's like I said, I've been up and down that area, and they're standing around the road. Just I don't know if they're waiting for someone to come mess around or what, but they're all up and down the damn road. It's like, whoa. So I don't think we're not gonna have you know, if they let us pass the road into the woods, well, I think we're all right, maybe, hopefully then. You know.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, the hardest part about this thing is waiting. I'm ready to go now.
I know. I'm ready for you guys to go now because I want to hear all about it. I just pulled
We
from Ethan's Facebook. You got Darrell, Ethan, Ron Moorhead, Martin Groves, and Mike Smith. I mean, what other dream team could you even ask for here?
We'll probably add a few other guys to that list too, because I'm kind of thinking we might need a little backup here.
Oh yeah.
That's our team though. We including Ethan involved in that. He's part of our team too. So, but we'll probably add a few other guys because for a little extra knowledge plus the protection.
Safety. Yep.
So, that's probably going to be the smart thing to do. So.
I was pulling up some of the stuff that Ethan has on here on his
that's a tree. I don't even that's a tree. So check this out. Ron was talking about and Darrell how some of these creatures have been seen like walking into trees and stuff. So I did some research and I found a tree that had it looked like creature in it. And that's not it, but there's another picture out there of it. And I found another one after that and another one that looked like he was pulling a rock in. So then I thought, oh, wow. And I examined them, searched up and down them, tried to clear up the pictures. And it looked to me like a creature. So then I thought to myself the other day, you know what? I'm going to go hiking. I got up and I went hiking yesterday and I walked through the woods and I seen this tree and it was black and it had a face in it. So I thought, what the hell? And I'm going to try this. And I walked up and touched the tree. This is amazing. I didn't even get to tell Darrell this yet. And when I touched that tree, the black went all the way to the other side. And the face was still in the tree. And then I was like, wow. So I reached my hand out to take a picture. I took a picture. And my thumb has a little tiny hand. It looks like grabbing my thumb. And my arm is not there. You cannot see my arm coming to my hand. And I'm like, whoa. So then I untouched the tree and the face disappeared and the structure of the tree changed. So I posted that today.
Wow.
I might want to go back and video it, Darrell, because I actually seen the black move right to the side of the tree. And it was like this much of the side of the tree was all black all the way. I was like, holy cow. I couldn't believe it. It shocked me. It freaked me out. So now I want to go back and try to video that so everyone can see the effect.
I was doing a show in the UK today. Earlier today, I was doing a show, and there was a guy on there that told me he had heard about this adventure we had planned, this documentary, and he said to be very careful because these creatures come out of the ground.
Yep. I've also found them doing that, Darrell. I've also found half of bodies coming out of the ground, heads peeking out of the ground. I'm not kidding you. It's wild, man. It's whatever technology they have is amazing. It's just amazing.
Well, I mean, I think I'm a little concerned about the UFO stuff that you found there too. You found some look like flying spaceships of some type there, a couple of those spots, and
we did find that.
So what else did you find, Ethan?
Well, see, I'm a retired TV actor and adult entertainer, so I get money every month. I don't work. So I have a lot of time to, put into. So when we hooked up, I've been putting, 5 hours a day, maybe 6 hours every evening into this and just getting in there researching. I want to see what we're coming across. What we're gonna run into, make sure there's no dogmen or make sure this or that. And so I got in there, but like I say, I don't know what it is. My vision's been getting stronger and stronger. Now I'm starting to find creatures that are half invisible, and just like the Predator movie, how you see the outline of, Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator, you see that, and you see their legs and you just have to stare at it for a few minutes. Eyes get stronger. This is one thing to tell everybody. Your eyes can get stronger, and you can actually go on Google Google and go and put, how do I make my eyes stronger? And it'll tell you different things you can do. You can get on a jumping thing and you can stare at one thing across your yard and jump on that thing, and your eyes will build up in a matter of hours, it says. I've done all that, tried to do that. I've tried to see other things, and I don't know if I've done this to myself. I don't know if they put a spell on me when I was at the island. I don't know. But all I know is I'm finding crazy stuff. That right there.
Well, that's another thing you brought up. Hopefully, after we come out of this adventure, our next adventure will be to. Well, eventually, we plan on making it to Ron's camp, the Sierra camp, and then we plan on going, hopefully, to maybe even Port Locke, Alaska, and then to the Solomon Island.
Yep.
So
Ron's camp, we found a base area close to Ron's camp with some structure. It's a very interesting spot. But of course, up there, it is really hard to get through areas. So that will take some time, Ron said, but we will, like Darrell said, we and not only that, there's other places that Darrell has, had me look, that we have located other structures as well that we want to get in there too. So it might just be back to back. Once this comes out, there might be another one right behind it.
Well, there's a whole lot of stuff in the Blue Ridge Mountains also, I can tell you that much. So a lot of weird stuff in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I got lost there for 3 days. I was in the woods by myself for 2 nights and 3 days, completely lost. And it's a
literally you were lost.
Completely
you're
lost.
Not, oh my God.
Completely. Yes, completely. Went to the Shenandoah National Forest to meet some people who always wanted to meet me. They were fans of mine, and I was going to meet them there. And I waited, and they didn't show up, and they never did show up. So I went ahead and walked the trail they told me where they'd seen these creatures. And long story short, I got up there and I ran into the creatures the second night I was there. But I got lost. If I hadn't found a creek, my granddad always told me to find water and follow the water. It will take you to civilization, and that's what got me out. But I heard the weirdest, craziest noises at night in those woods that I've ever heard. So
you're lost for 3 days. You're lost.
Completely lost, yes. And when I finally got to, I found a creek and I followed it. And I was walking night and day. I could hear creatures all around me in the woods. But
oh my God,
I was walking night and day trying to find my way out of there. I got off the trail, and I was probably 2 miles from my truck, and it got dark on me. And I was camped out next to a bluff the first night, and I had water, and I had a thermal blanket with me, and had a little fire, but. I never found my way out.
Darrell, that's terrible. I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I got to the creek, I followed this creek for all day, all night, and I seen a house. It was on a hill to the right across the creek, and there was a lady sitting on her deck. And I yelled at her and scared her to death. I was out in the middle of nowhere, and she was on her back deck, and I said, I'm lost. Can you help me? And she goes, oh, no, I can't. My husband will be home in a minute. He'll help you.
Oh, phew.
And, he got home, and I crossed the creek and went up the hillside, and they fixed me a glass of tea and something to eat. I hadn't had anything to eat in 2 or 3 days. And he said, well, now, where were you located at with your truck? I'll take you back to your truck. Super nice people. And, I was 22 miles from my truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow is right. Wow. We got Swamp Dog in the comments too, Darrell. He wanted to make sure to say that you knew and to say hello.
That's my man, Swamp Dog. You're talking about a guy with a story. I guess you know about that story. So, Swamp Dog is my buddy up here in Jersey. He's had some really crazy stuff. I was out at his location 3 or 4 months ago before he and his wife had their adventure. But if you're not familiar with that, he may want to tell you more than me. But he told me there was a creature that he seen when he contacted me that was big as a grizzly, but had the head of a dog.
Oh,
And I said, well, that's definitely a big dog, man. And I went out to the area and checked it out, and there was claw marks and everything all around the cemetery, not far from where he'd seen it at. And then he and his wife were out there. I was in Tennessee, and I was going to go back out there with him again. And he and his wife decided to drive out there one night and try to get pictures of this creature. And this particular creature, they've been sitting there 3 hours on a little gravel road off the main road. When I say the main road, this is in the middle of nowhere. There's probably 20 houses that are on the ocean, but there's nobody in those houses. They're weekend homes, and nobody stays there all the time. But his wife got out of the vehicle. I wish he was there to tell you, but if you can bring him on, he could. But his wife got out of the vehicle to use the restroom in the back of the truck, and she started screaming. Swamp Dog jumped out of the driver's side to see what was going on, and a dog man was dragging her down the road.
Oh man!
Wow! Oh my gosh!
So
that's crazy.
So we went out there. It's a weird area. It really is a weird area. I'm just glad she's okay. Of course, she's scared to death and has PTSD. She don't even want to go on her back porch now at night. So
I bet not.
But
I wouldn't either.
She's very lucky that she's okay. Could have broke her arm and almost did. Almost did break her arm.
Oh wow!
But Swamp Dog was fortunate enough to fight it off to save his wife. So
thank God.
Yeah, but the Swamp Dog, he's a great guy. He is a good friend of mine.
Wow. So what do you think, I guess, what has been your most intense encounter with all of this? What would you say like your top case so far would be?
Well, I mean, I think my first encounter will always be my number one because it was so intense and what it did as far as life-changing for me. And that was in November the 6th of 92 when that wood booger stepped out of the cane thicket on the creek bottom I was deer hunting on. And I've never had fear in me like that before because I don't scare very easy. I mean, my friends used to bug me about it because I just don't get scared. And not that
that kept you out of the woods for like 5 or 6 years, didn't it?
I didn't go in the woods for almost 7, but it was so terrifying. This thing came out and leaped across the creek and went right straight dead looking right at me in the tree. I was kind of overlooking it and showed me its teeth. That's the first thing it did. Gritted its teeth and showed them to me. And I was looking right down on it. I thought, my God, what is this thing? It was literally, I was deer hunting on my grandfather's property that I hunted on all my life, but I'd never been that deep in the woods. And when it growled, that was a attention getter. It was a growl like I've never heard. And it was looking at me. Then it walked over to the tree limb that I'd hung my drag rag on with the deer scent on it, and it just ripped the whole tree limb out and threw it on the ground. It walked right back, and it's looking right at me, and it was the meanest, ugliest looking thing that I've ever seen. And one side of its mouth was kind of something had happened to it, or maybe it was born deformed. It was kind of contortion differently, the right side of its mouth, and it was just the meanest, ugliest looking thing I ever seen. And then it was so mad at me. I can't even explain the evil look it had because I was in its area. And then it let out a scream, yell, kind of a yell and a scream together. And I'm in the bottom of this hollow. In Tennessee, you have huge hollows and hills, and I'm on like a 45-degree angle in a tree stand, straight up, kind of overlooking the creek. And when it let out that yell, it was so loud, it echoed all down that hollow. And I thought, this is it. This thing's coming across the creek. It's going to pull me out of this tree and just kill me. And I had one shot with a 50 caliber muzzleloader. I didn't think a 50 caliber bullet was going to kill this thing. So I made a decision not to fire upon it because all I was going to do was make it mad when I shot it. And so I just sat there and sweated it out. And after that yell, it just turned and walked straight back from the other direction and turned and looked at me one time as I was in the top. I was 28 feet up in this tree. And how I knew 28 feet, because my rope that I had was attached to my belt, and it dropped to the ground, and I tied, it had a little lock ring on it. I could put my gun on it, and I'd pull my gun up with that rope, and it was 28 foot long. And when that thing walked off, I wasn't going to take 15 or 20 minutes to climb down the tree stand. I just lowered the bar in front of me that had a camo on it that covered me. I jumped out of the top of the tree.
Oh my
And
God.
I landed on the leaves on that hillside like a 45-degree angle. I slid all the way into the creek, and it was about chest high. And I had my gun above my head, and as soon as I just jumped up out of the creek, I took off running as hard as I could up that hillside and as fast as I could run. And it was
Did you jump or did you rappel down?
No, I just jumped.
Oh.
I just pulled.
Slid and fell across.
What? How many feet?
It was going to take 15 or 20 minutes to come down that tree in that tree stand. So,
Oh yeah, it's like
You're lucky to be alive.
I just jumped and hit those leaves and slid all the way into the creek, and I took off running up that hillside, and I run as fast as I could. It was, a good 150 yards to the top of that hill, and by the time I got to the top, I was so out of breath I couldn't breathe, and I had to stop and get my breath. And I was looking back for the creature, and I didn't see it. And I crossed over that hill, and I got down to the bottom, and there was a little barbed wire fence that was old there. It wasn't. I just walked right across it and started going up this second hill, and I looked up on the hill behind me that I'd just come down, and there it stood. It was watching me.
Oh,
And all that did was just kicking my adrenaline more, and I just took off running as fast as I could up the top of that hill, looking back at it. It was just standing there watching me. And by the time I got to the bottom of the third hill, there was a barbed wire fence there that I had to cross to go across my granddad's field there where the cows were. And I wasn't going to stop and climb over the fence. This thing was after me. I just jumped the barbed wire fence. And
oh my God.
it caught me about it caught me about my knee and just ripped my pants all the way up to past my knee and big gash in my leg, and I just kept running. And I ran all the way across that sage field there and got to the gate and opened it up and looked back, didn't see the creature, and I ran into my granddad's onto his porch of his farmhouse, his old rural farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere, and went into the house and reached out and blocked the whole screen-in porch with a little hook, and then locked the door and looked out the glass, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see it coming, and I ran into the right of the kitchen area there, and I went into the living area. My granddad was sitting there to the left in his rocking chair, and he was sitting there with, like he always was, had his radio on, and he was had his dip out, and he was doing a little dipping with his tobacco. And I just sat down in the corner over there to the right. There was the old potbelly stove in the middle of the house there, between the corner and the middle, and it had fire in it. And I sat down behind it, and I couldn't even talk. My granddad was just looking at me. "What's wrong with you, boy?" My granddad never called me by my name. We were super close. We were really close. He was 92 years old at that time. And he said, "What's wrong with you, boy? You look like you've seen a ghost." And I couldn't talk. I was so out of breath from running so much that
you told me you jumped off a tree stand.
It was a few minutes before I got my breath, and then I started talking to him, and he said, "What's wrong with you, boy?" And I said, "Granddad, I seen a monster in the woods." And he said, "A monster?" I said, "Yeah, there's a monster in the woods, and it's still here. It's chasing me back." And I got up and looked out the window in the back door, and I didn't see it anywhere. And Come and sit back down on the couch and started telling him it was huge. It was like 8 foot tall. He said, "Oh, that ain't no monster. That's a wood booger." I said, "A wood booger?" I said, "You never told me about any wood booger. I've been around, we living with you most of my life, and you never told me about a wood booger." So I didn't want to tell you because you'd be scared. You wouldn't hunt in the woods, and you wouldn't camp in the woods, and you wouldn't stay in the barn all night. And, you'd been scared, you and your cousins and friends, y'all wouldn't have done any of that. So I didn't want you frightened of them. And he said, "I've seen 4 of them in my lifetime. And I'll be working in the field with a plow and a mule, and I'll look up, and one's standing there watching me." And he said, "I hear them all the time, and they're around here." He said, "They don't bother you as long as you don't go into their territory." He said, "You're probably in their territory." He said, "I should have thought different because you were way in the woods." It was about a mile from his house.
And how old were you then, Darrell?
I don't know how old I was. I have to go back and think about it. That was in '92, but I was. It was pretty terrifying. And I told my granddad, and he said, "These creatures come around every winter." He had a big old hen house with chickens in it to the left. There's a log hen house that his forefathers had built. He lived there on that property, and the other side where I was deer hunting, either there or this spot his whole life. And he said they come in the winter, they get hungry, and they'll come and take 3 or 4 chickens out of the chicken house, and they'll leave a little pile of rocks and sticks like they're paying for it.
Oh, wow.
And
I'm not sure if you noticed who's here. Who else is here for you on your tonight?
who else put that here?
Darrell never noticed me.
Is that my man Swamp Dog?
Yeah, it's me.
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Same old, same old.
Good to
Same
see you,
old.
man. Good to see you, brother.
Nice to see you. I
Yeah, good
texted
to
you
see
the other
you,
day.
man.
You never talked to me back.
Hey, yeah, man. I just been pretty busy. I really have.
I know.
But man, I was just telling part of your story. If you need to finish up any of it, you can. But this guy right here now, Swamp Dog, he's a pretty brave dude to fight off a dog man. So.
No, I didn't fight him off with my bare hands. I shot him 4 times, but I didn't fight him off.
That's still saying something, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times a bullet don't affect those creatures.
I did. I was just on a podcast today, and I was talking about that. When I shot it 4 times in the back, it's like I told you, I never see no blood or anything. And somebody had said to me that Tammy didn't have no blood spurts on her either. So when they say it's a flesh and blood creature, I can't say if it is or not because I shot it with a 44 5 feet away from it, and I never see no blood. So
it didn't die. It just ran, right?
Well, like on the 4th shot, I shot him like on the back of the neck, on the bottom part of the back of the neck. And when I did that, that's when he let my wife go. And he took off into the woods like a freight train.
Oh, you had your wife.
Screaming. He was screaming as he's running.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like it sounded like a train going through the woods, knocking branches or trees. I don't know what he was doing. But it was like a bulldozer going through the woods and hollering and screaming, But I grabbed my wife and I threw her in the truck. And that's when I took her to the hospital. And then I called Darrell. And told him what happened. But
man, you're lucky. Is she doing any better? Is she able to go out at night now? Or is she doing any better?
No, Tammy doesn't go outside at night. Still to tonight. My wife doesn't go outside at night. See, we smoke, but we don't smoke in the house. So we go out in the front porch or we go out back. So that
PTSD is hard to get over, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, she wakes up some nights, like screaming, but crying.
Yeah.
She's
I
doing
did.
better at the beginning, but she's still, she ain't right. You know what I mean?
Well, that's understandable. You know, some creature like that grab a hold of you and start dragging you down a gravel road. You know, it's hard to even imagine something like that exists.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and then like me after. Do you remember? Well, you seen the live podcast that I was with Daniel.
Oh, that's a good one. Really good one, man.
Well,
you got
3-4 days.
You got Dog Man out there too.
Yep. About 3-4 days after that, I had animal control come by my house. I don't know if you heard about that.
Well, that's when you called me and told me they were there. Remember?
Yeah, and just make the story short. About a half a mile from that live, there was a horse farm. We went over to look at it. Jimmy, that was a dead horse with a broken neck, and he was gutted from the neck all the way down to his private parts. And nothing was eating it, but like all the guts and all the inside of the horse was out of the horse. So then, about 2 houses up from there was a dead dog. His right hind leg was ripped off.
Oh God!
And when I got there, the old man was already preparing the dog because he didn't want his granddaughter to see it. You know what I mean? So at my hunting area, where we had the live,
Right.
like on the Cryptid podcast,
Right.
when all that happened, up about 100 yards away from my deer stand, there was a buck's head that was like ripped off the body. The game wardens and they were making a report because a guy on an e-bike, one of the electric bikes, was going through the trails, and he found the head. So I guess he called the game warden. They came over there to look at it because they didn't know if somebody was poaching or not. But the deer's head was, I mean, you could actually see the head that it was like ripped off the body. Now there was a guy.
I've seen deer like that. There's a place in Tennessee in Cheatham County we call the killing field. I've seen 6 or 7 deer that were torn apart like that.
Yeah. So what happened was they were looking for the deer's body. They were walking like 30 yards at a time and going 30 to 60 to 90 yards in a circle, and they could never find the body. I go, the deer. All was just the head. So I don't want to say that I'm working with this one game warden and this animal control, but we've been going in the woods like on their off-duty time.
Yeah.
Looking around and but basically they actually know what it is now, and they're always talking to me, asking me questions, and
like I told you that
they want to get rid of
you don't have anything to worry about. You haven't done anything wrong, so don't let them intimidate you by any means.
No, they're not. They're like Jimmy. They're like who kind of. I don't want to say that I'm working with law enforcement because I'm not, but I'm just helping them out.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So you know what I mean, and
the thing you have to be careful of, and I have never had it happen to me because I haven't been around a kill. But anytime you're around a kill with Dog Man, there's a lot of people who they mark, and you have to be really careful with that type thing.
But see what Darrell is. I've been thinking about, and I've been talking about, this where like all this happened, like to the horse and stuff. It's only about a half an hour away from where I had my first encounter, where we went to the cemetery.
Right. On your okay, yeah.
It's only like a half hour away from point A to point B.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that close?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Where I seen it at the cemetery. You remember where we went to the cemetery and all that? and where like on that dirt road that you stayed a couple hours. Remember, I didn't want to go out there at nighttime.
Yeah.
And I ended up shooting it on that dirt road. And that's only a half hour away from all this is
I
going
didn't
on.
realize it was that close.
So I don't know. Some people are telling me they're following me. I don't know.
Well, I went out to that. I went out to that dirt road. And parked.
Right.
And I went out to the dirt road at 2:00 in the morning. Ooh. And parked. And I walked back in the woods. I tried to find a trail.
Right.
And I was back in there a pretty good ways. There's a swamp back there. You can step right into it if you're not careful. And I didn't find anything at all, but I did find some evidence of where something had been drugged back through there. But
what part of the town was that at?
On the right-hand side when you go in.
All the way to the end, or halfway?
Right. Well, almost to the end. Right before you get to the water.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
so do you think some of the cattle mutilations and the things they're blaming on ET is actually something more like a dog man?
I think so, because when I saw the horse, right, because the game warden was trying to say, well, sometimes we'll have a bear walking around the area. It is true, because I've seen black bears around here. Or, it could have been a pack of coyotes and stuff, but I told the guy straight up, I said, what do you think is strong enough to break a horse's neck? A black bear is not going to do it. No. A pack of coyotes ain't going to do it.
Well, the good thing about it is a Bigfoot don't even bother a horse. It's always a dog man that does that. So,
yeah. But
Bigfoot actually
break a horse's neck, you got to be real strong. I mean, you got to be real strong to break a horse's neck. That's, what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So Ron's got the right idea about the horse, riding the horse in. The biggest one.
Yeah.
He gets the horse and we run. I gotta say something. I had an encounter and since I've met, Darrell and all these other people that's had encounters, it's a tough thing. It is very hard. What I went through, you could go nuts. You could absolutely go into a cuckoo home. It's you want to tell somebody, and it's like, and then you feel like an idiot even telling somebody, because it's like, do they believe me or think I'm crazy or think I'm on drugs?
I understand 100%.
It's very hard.
I've been there. Yeah. You got to think,
I envy all you guys that stand up and can say it, man, because I went through a lot of hell over it, man.
And you got to think, back in '92 when I had my encounter, I was also an elected official. I couldn't tell anybody. And then I had Martin Groves, my best friend, who was chief deputy sheriff, who just almost got eaten by a dog man. So he and I would go to lunch together and conversate, because we didn't have anybody we could talk to. There wasn't any groups back then. There wasn't any shows.
I own my own business. I'm a diesel mechanic. I own a mobile business.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm just saying, look at what your wife's going through, man. She might be fucking terrorized, sorry for swearing, for her whole life. It might this might go her whole entire life, and she might never want to come out and all that, and it's got to hurt you to see that. That's your wife, and
it's hard for her to deal with it, because who can she talk to? I mean, she could talk to Darrell. So I mean, she could talk to Josh from Mystery Unknown. But other than that, she can't talk to anybody about that. Even if she went
keep it all in there, and it's just like, it's hard.
Even if she went to a doctor to talk to a shrink or something, they're going to look at her like she's nuts. I mean, you know what I'm saying? When
they are, you're right.
When I took her to the hospital, because when that happened, I thought my wife had a broken arm, because she had black and blue from her shoulder all the way to her elbow. Her arm was black and blue. So I thought she broke her arm. So, we wasn't even thinking. So when we went to the hospital and they asked what happened, well, I looked at her and she looked at me, and we don't know what to say.
Well,
And
you can't tell them what happened. You got to come up
no,
with
I
something.
mean, they're gonna put us both in you mean, one of the mental
Or think you're on some drug, or exactly. It's terrible.
So so we were stuck, and then I kind of felt weird because when the doctor when they gave her the X-rays and they said she didn't have a broken arm enough, but you know what I mean? Like the doctor was talking to us. I mean, he's looking at me like I'm a wife beater.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
like,
you're the bad guy. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it was like,
man.
I mean, that was a bad night. I mean, I mean, who can you talk to? Except for your friends out on here. You know what I mean? Like,
That's so true. That's so true. And people, if you don't think that it can be used against you, you're wrong. You are
you're
so
wrong. Yeah.
All I can tell you is, you're very fortunate that she wasn't killed. You're very fortunate.
Well, you know what though? I always thought about it, and I think about it often. I think it wanted to make it personal with me. I don't think it wanted to hurt Tammy. I think it wanted to make it personal with me. And
what's its beef with you, Swamp Dog? What do you think it's the problem?
See, because I seen it like 3 times before all this happened with my wife. I had seen it do it 3 times. At the time, I had my camouflage truck. Everybody knows my truck, and I think this thing knew my truck and it knew me. And I think it wanted to make it like personal with me from some way, somehow.
Well, that may be true, but there's no doubt about Dogman. They all these creatures they always try to have their way with ladies, and they will do that. Especially one that's an evil one will try to hurt a lady. And I will say this: Scott Carpenter, the late great Scott Carpenter, was a really close friend of mine, and he helped me rebuke some rogue Bigfoot I had back in 2020. And the best thing that you can do is rebuke this Dogman, because I do think that they have a way of attaching to you some way spiritually, and there's plenty of people that have been marked by them, and maybe even your wife. And it's very simple, the rebuke process that works. And Scott taught me how to do it, and I did it to my farm and my animals, because I had some rogue Bigfoot just terrorizing my horses. But
I'll tell you how bad it is. I'll tell you how bad it is with Tammy. The other night, I was hearing noises in my backyard, but I didn't pay no mind to it, because I got dachshunds, and if the dachshunds don't bark, I don't worry about it, because you know how dachshunds are. Well, I heard a big crash on the trash cans, and I'm thinking, what the heck is that? So when we heard the big crash on the trash cans, Tammy jumped out the couch. Like, I don't know how she did it, but she was sitting, and her whole body just went up, like off the couch. I went out back, and there was raccoons in my backyard. I mean, any little sound my wife hears at nighttime, done.
Oh, she's probably waiting for it to come back. It tore her up. It was a crazy experience. Scared shit.
That's the type of stuff people go through. So when people talk about Dogman or even Bigfoot, and they talk with fear in their voices, and I know what they're going through because I see my wife going through it. You know what I mean? And
I was the same way in '92. It took me almost 7 years to get over it. If I hadn't met the ones on the river that became friends, I don't think I would have ever got over it.
Yeah. Well, like the 3 that me and my wife was gifting before these Dogman encounters, I was gifting them for about 2 to 3 years. I was 3 males, and it's over here where I hunt.
Right.
And one was an 8-footer, and the 2 was about 7.5 feet tall. But we used to get there because we had a special log where we used to leave stuff, like anything from candy bars all the way to sandwiches. You mean all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And man, they used to gift me too. They used to put rabbits on my hood, or like real pretty rocks or sticks or something on my hood, or like on the back of my truck. But like since all this stuff been going on with a dog, I know that's dog man. Like in this area right now, I haven't seen the three. Now, like the past like 2-3 months, I've been going in the woods. Last week I camped out in the woods by myself, and I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see nothing. I have protection on me, you know what I mean? But
protection that you don't know if it's gonna work, because like you said, you didn't get no blood. So man, you got some balls, man.
Well, you know what I mean?
I can't believe in a
Tara can probably say this.
Like, man, that's,
well, you mean,
tough.
When you go down this rabbit hole and your mind starts thinking, you gotta get out there. I mean,
that's how I am. I gotta know. It's like I gotta know what the hell is it. I gotta know.
You gotta get out there to know something, you know what I mean? Because if you just stay home and you're watching YouTube videos, you ain't gonna learn nothing. I mean,
you won't figure it out. You're right.
Now, my wife don't like it when I go out there by myself, but
well, you just have to be careful. You really do. I mean, anybody does. You have to be safe out there.
Well, yeah, if you're going to fire, you have to know, too. It's like, man, if I'm going to throw, I just remember being out there one time and my brother threw a big rocket and I was like, let's go. Like a boulder is going to come by flying out. You're not going to play like that. You better know it's going to fire.
So when I was in Salem Island, the chief over there, my friend went to go to the bathroom and she comes back and there was a skull over by the woods. So she's freaking out. She's thinking this tribal group's going to kill us. So she starts crying, getting upset. I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong? So finally the chief says, what's wrong with her? And I said, well, she found a skull over by the tree. He said, oh, it's okay. It's okay. Don't go over there and go to the bathroom. So as the night went on, he started to tell me what that skull meant. And he said the tourists don't have no idea what the skull is placed for. The skull is placed around the village, looking away from the village, for an offering for these giant creatures there. And these giant creatures are the same giant creatures that Darrell, everybody runs into. They look the same. They're same looking kind of creatures. And what they do there, he said, is, I said, well, what do you do? He says, I'm in charge of fixing the village. And he said, when they come in and smash it. And he goes, they just recently did. I'm like, so we're all getting scared. We're like, whoa. He tells me that that when they come in, I said, well, what do you do? They didn't have guns like that. One guy had a rifle. That was it. I said, do you spear them? He said, no. He said, we rise the skull. So when we
it's
go,
like an offering. It's like an offering.
I'm going to take a skull. I don't know. They say it works. They say for some reason, and what I've learned there, that the skull is some kind of ceremonial energy, maybe because life was in it. I don't know, but they respect it and they back up. And I was like, wow, okay. I don't know if it'll work in the United States, but I'll give it a try.
And nothing wrong with trying.
Yeah.
Where do you find a skull? That's a better question.
He told me all kinds of information about that. I dug in deep. I mean, I
agree with you. Where do you find a skull?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, like where are you going here?
Ron's like, oh, I got an old one.
So, I mean, where do you find one of those?
Where do you get it? A science, maybe some kind of. If you maybe a school teacher can get some real old skull that's real, I don't know.
A grave digger.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm taking a plastic Halloween skull. I don't know, man.
Sometimes you gotta think out the box. You gotta think out the box sometimes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they also, this is another key point, is they also, I said, well, how do you guys hunt if the jungle's alive? And he said, well, we don't hunt in the jungle much at all. He said, we mostly get our food from the ocean. And I said, oh, okay, fish. And he said, yeah. He said, but the tribal women will go in the jungle, but they'll strip down and they paint themselves, all their hair, everything pure white with this ash stuff. It looks like a cigarette ash, but when you wipe it on you, it turns pure white. And I'm like, wow. And he said the tribal guys will go around those girls in a circle about 50 feet from them. And they'll work their way in slowly to get the certain things that they need in the jungle. I'm like, wow. So I don't know if the white represents
the jungle at? Where's this jungle?
All I can tell you is we're not going to be in the Solomon Islands. We have to be careful what we're doing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Where's the island at?
Say it again.
I said we're not going to be in the Solomon Islands.
Mm-hmm. Solomon Island. Yeah, that's what it was.
But like when I went out in the woods, like you mean when I spent the night the other night, I go in there acting normal. You mean I don't go there. You mean looking around, or are you making howling sounds, or I don't do wood knocks. I don't do none of that stuff. I pitch my little tent up. I make my little fire. That night, I was sipping on some Crown Royal. I was smoking a cigar. And I was cooking hot dogs over the fire, just doing normal. And you mean I didn't hear nothing? I didn't see nothing. I didn't even hear. I should have realized too, because it was kind of too quiet. You know what I mean? Sometimes you hear a fox, or you'll hear something out in the tree. I didn't hear nothing that night, but I went to bed around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got up around 6, and like I had nothing bother me or nothing. I mean, that night.
Yeah, that's just the way it works, though. You're not always going to see something. So you almost need a break every once in a while. So
right.
You have those nights where you can rest a little better than other nights. So
you're right to gain that rest back up.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like I said, you gotta think out the box. You know what I mean? I see these guys going in the woods and they're doing tree knocks and stuff. And I personally, I don't know, but I personally don't think that works. I think if you go in the woods and you do normal things like hunting, or you're going hiking, or you're going camping, and you're just doing normal things, I think that attracts them more.
Well, Swamp Dog, you're pretty much correct, because you want to. First of all, you're not going to find a Bigfoot unless they want you to find. They find you.
Yep.
So you're not going to find them. So when they know when you get out of your vehicle, when you get out of your vehicle, they know that you're coming into the woods looking for them. They're way too intelligent to be tricked. They've always got watchers. They've got usually juvenile looking for see who's coming into the area.
Yeah,
and you're not going to sneak in on them. They know when you're there, and if they don't welcome you there, you're going to get run out. So it's pretty simple. It's not like they're way too intelligent for you to trick them.
Yeah.
So like how Darrell was talking a little bit ago on his grandfather telling him, a story and stuff. So this is what I'm noticing. I'm noticing there's a lot of creatures out there that are just standing around on the sides of roads that are invisible. I can see them. They make an outline just like the Predator movie. And, you can see them on my account. I'll circle them. And you just got to look at it for a little bit and you'll see what I'm trying to show you. And so I'm thinking on that like Darrell says, that I've heard him say before, that a lot of these creatures are out there around us and not messing with us for some reason, because now my vision has got so strong that somebody will post a structure picture of just structure and they'll go, look at this, it looks like something, Bigfoot structure. And I'll zoom into that picture and I see invisible creatures standing all around. And then I want to ask that person, did you go into that structure and walk around? I'm sure they did, and those creatures, I'm not kidding you. I'm going to start posting pictures and showing everybody, and they'll be standing there invisible around that structure. Well, that guy's shooting that picture, or he walked up there, I assume, and they did not harm him. So
Well,
it's a matter of, like Darrell said, you know, some have an attitude, some don't. Those might be people forest people that are more friendly, or the guy didn't walk all the way up there and step into their territory, one or the other.
well, they definitely have their own territory. So it doesn't matter where they're at. They have a territory they consider theirs, and they're not even going to let another group, a Bigfoot family, come in there, or a dog man. So,
and then this is another thing: is if these creatures are all entities, well, I find babies. I find them sitting with a bunch of babies, so they're having babies.
I heard a lot of stories about that.
They're having babies.
Yeah. Well, see, like, you know, where we live, and I have a friend of mine who's on Facebook. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't know if he wants me to or not. But a couple weeks ago, he called me in tears. Now, I think Darrell knows who I'm talking about, but he's ex-military. I mean, this guy, I believe he went to Iraq and did all that. You know what I mean? But a couple weeks ago, he called me up in tears, and my wife was listening to the conversation because I had him on speakerphone. And at first, I thought, you know, maybe he had death in the family or something, and he was telling me. But he has something going on his property, and you know, his backyard, but you know, butts up to the Pine Barrens. I'm near the Pine Barrens. You know what I mean? All the woods in South Jersey somehow, some way connects to the Pine Barrens. Okay. But he had a creature on his property that he's seen with his own eyes on top of his roof. And I asked him to describe me this creature to me. And he did. And I said, bro, you know, I don't want to upset you, but you got a rake on your property. And his property butts up to the Pine Barrens. He's only about an hour north of me.
I've been seeing one of those things in LBL in 2024. And there are some definitely weird creatures. This thing around the tree.
This thing here first started messing with his daughter. I think she's like 9, 10 years old, I believe. But every night she used to hear like a tapping on her window, on her bedroom window. So like every morning she keeps telling him. So what happened was he put one of them lights up on a tree about 13 feet up. And I guess the light was coming on for 2 or 3 days straight every night. And one morning he went to take the dog out and he looked up and the light was gone. And this light was screwed in by 4-inch screws about 13 feet up on a tree. He sent me pictures of everything. So he's looking around, and I guess the light was about 6 feet away from the tree, up against the wood line. And so he was like, man, that's strange because there was something that had to rip that thing off. And he sent me pictures of the tree. There was like claw marks going up the tree. And the claw marks stopped at where the light was. So it looked like whatever it was wanted to get that light out of there because he didn't put the light back on. But that same night, the knocking was back on the daughter's window again. So it looked like he wanted to take the light out. You know what I mean? Because every time that thing came on the property, the light came on. So
normally these creatures are scared they're really frightened of bright lights and trail cameras. So
so they're like Martin and you even talk about that with the light. How they don't like the light or something.
Yeah.
They don't like the light. They don't like cameras either.
Mm-hmm. So then the next night he took his dog out and he thought he saw something like in the wood line, and I guess he ignored it. He went back out in the house, and then he heard something like a chatter. He said he heard like a chatter sound. So he went back outside, and his dog immediately looked up on the roof of the house. And when he looked up on the roof of the house, he saw this white creature on top of the roof of his house. And when he saw that, that's when he ran in the house and called me. And
Wow.
and like it was a rake. And he begged me to come over to the house because he wanted me to do something. I said, "What am I going to do about a rake? I don't. First of all, I don't know nothing about rakes, but from what he described it to me, I knew that it was a rake. You know,
Yeah.
so I was supposed to be going up there. I don't know, next weekend or something, and I checked things out. But I mean, this guy was terrified. And this guy was
Yeah.
almost
Where is he? What? How far is he from us?
He's only about 45 minutes to an hour from me. I guess the same way you know who I'm talking about. The guy that I talked to you about. The one
Yeah.
lives up there by Bordentown.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean that's why I text you, but you never text me back because I wanted to tell you about that. I mean about what's going on with this guy. You know what I mean? With this
Yeah,
race.
I apologize. I probably didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you mean New Jersey, South Jersey, you got a lot of things in it. You got pineys out here, you know what I mean, like feral people, you know what I mean? Like you got Dogman, you got Bigfoot, now this rake thing, you know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? It's a lot of I also been hearing people
Man,
telling
there's all kinds of
UFOs.
stuff out there.
People telling me about UFO encounters in the Pine Barrens. I mean, you know, a lot of things going on down here. The Pine Barrens is a spooky place.
It is, and it goes from the one end of the state to the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful place during the day, but when that sun goes down, man, that's totally different. You know
That's
what I mean?
pretty true. That's pretty much true everywhere, really.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Anytime you flip the switch and it gets dark, it makes everything different. So
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, you
that
know,
definitely is true. That is definitely
yeah.
true.
But dude, since I've been doing these podcasts, and I had people like you would message me. You know what I mean? Like you were telling me about their encounters or their problems on their property. But they asked me, what should I do? You know what I mean? How can I get rid of it? And all that stuff. And I try to help people or I try to talk to people and stuff.
right.
But I mean, there's a lot of things going on all over this country. And Alaska and Canada. I had a guy get a hold of me from Alaska. Another guy got a hold of me from Ottawa. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
Man, there's weird stuff everywhere. There really
I mean,
is.
you know, it's everywhere you go. It's like, you know, but
Some of it's even weirder. So you go into
that's the thing. It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. It's not getting any better. It's getting worse. There's more people coming out telling you these stories, and
I think they're breeding and multiplying because I went back on time on Google Earth and looked in areas that I've been looking in, and it wasn't like that. Now there's thousands of them all over, and I go back 4 or 5 years, and there was barely any you're seeing.
Yeah,
well, I know when I had my first encounter with Bigfoot, I first of all didn't believe that. I had no idea they were in my area, but you know, since then, there's no doubt they've just quadrupled in size. There's no doubt. There's too many.
I had my first Bigfoot encounter in 1989. Dude, the fall of 1989, I was a senior in high school. And ever since that first encounter, I've been going down that rabbit hole. You know what I mean? That was the first.
Well, I think it does that to you. I think it does that to everybody.
Yeah.
UFOs are the same thing. It changes everything. Once you see something that big and that huge.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I see like Dogman. Like, I mean, I always was the Bigfoot guy. I never did believe in Dogman. Whenever I used to hear a podcast or somebody talk about Dogman, I used to snicker or I'd be like, you know, I mean, that ain't true. You know what I mean? But when I had that
Well,
first
it's,
encounter,
it's pretty much like me, back when we couldn't talk about it. I had my first encounter in '92. Then Martin Groves,
yeah,
he'd been my best friend 46 years. At that time, we were best friends, and
uh,
he almost got eaten alive, him and his partner, by a dog
yeah,
man. So,
yeah,
I said, "What is a dog man? I never even heard of a dog man." So, it all comes around. It really
yeah.
does.
But
And
like I said, I never did believe in dog man. I used to laugh, snicker. I said, these people crazy. You know what I mean? But when I first got my first encounter, the last week of August of 2024, that's when I got my first encounter. My whole world went in complete, 360. And that's when my life would start crumbling down, because now I don't know if it's for the good or for the bad sometimes. I don't know, but it's just I've been going this rabbit hole, you know what I mean?
I just think I think it's just something that happens, and you either deal with it one way or the other is what it meant.
Don't let it bring you down and make you negative, man. Stay positive.
No.
I've been around a lot of spiritual stuff, and you got to try not to let it bother you. Like I live in a house that when I'm in my bedroom and I look to my hallway and my lights off, I see shit go through the hallway. My sister has seen it. It's and then we get up and start looking around like somebody's in the house, grab a weapon. And now I just get to the point where I'm just like, I've been this way for a while, but I had to get to the point where I was just like, oh, just don't let it bother me. And I'd be like, oh, hey, you know what I mean? Fuck it. And don't let it bother me, because if I do, then I'm going to be stressed out, and then I can't sleep, and then I'm going to be negative, and then going through what I've went through, and when I talk to you guys, I know you guys are telling me the truth, because my friend has 264 pictures that's going to be released in our document that are actual real pictures of these creatures. And she's got a few video clips, and I've seen it. So I know, and therefore I know I have to accept this, just like you, Darrell, and just like you. And you have to, you know what you've seen, man. You know this happened to you. And now okay, they didn't see, but I know my wife's seen, whatever, my buddy's seen. This really happened. So therefore it's like, you just have to tell yourself, okay, man, of course the government lies to us in many ways, and maybe they had to hide
it. They lie in many ways, and all ways.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of it's true. And if you go back in culture, the natives would have a lot of powers, and you're native, Darrell. And the natives would have powers, and the chief would go up on the mountain to speak with the star gods or whatever to get answers to do what they were doing. Rain dance, certain things ceremonies they do, and brought luck. And I don't think our government wants none of us to know that. And that's why I think they degraded the natives and did all the shit they did to them. They don't, it's a thin line, and they don't want people to know it. They don't want people to go chaos and nuts. Oh my God, there's creatures all around us, this, that. And they just don't want us to know the truth, man. And check this out. I've even thought this. Maybe this creature, this entity thing, is gods, and maybe those are the real gods that we weren't taught, and there's nothing you can do to them. And actually, it's right in front of your eyes, Darrell. You've seen an entity. You've seen these things. You've seen these things. I've seen these things. So it's now we have to ask ourselves, hey, I've never seen Jesus come down to me. Maybe you guys have. I've never seen God come down in a human figure and say, hey, I'm God, and this and that. And I was born in a Christian family. My mom was Christian, and I just didn't click with it. I became a spiritual guy. I had a native friend, and we bonded, and I seen a lot of amazing things happen, and therefore I accept it. And I'm like, I don't know who God is. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say somebody's my God if I don't know deep in heart that is not my God. I'm not going to pray to something I don't know is my God. And
you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I was like that I was like that kind of, right? Because I was raised in a Catholic family, a real strict Catholic family. My mom made me do everything from Sunday school, all the Holy Communion. I did it all, right? Except an altar boy. I was never an altar boy.
Thank
But
God.
I was, I was like that. But I'm going to tell you something. When I first had my first encounter with this dog man, it brought me closer to Jesus. I'm going to tell you that straight
And
up.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing because
You
you
know
know
what I mean?
what? That is helping you. If
Yeah.
you stop yourself, Martin Grove. He talks about when the creatures come around, he starts praying and
Yeah.
let them back off. Maybe that works. Maybe they don't like our religion. Maybe you know what I mean. And maybe there is a God, and that might be evil. That who knows? Maybe these are evil entities that we're dealing with, like the devil.
I think Dog Man is nothing but. I believe Dog Man came straight from hell. I always said that Dog Man is the pet dog of Satan, because that's from what I seen and what I dealt with and what I encountered, they're nothing but evil. There's nothing good about a dog man. I don't care if there's 100 dog men, they're all evil. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. Bigfoot's a different story. You know what I mean? But dog man, I'm telling you right now, you don't ever want to see one.
Yeah. So we got to look at this. Okay. So say a wolf in the woods. A wolf is not good. A wolf will rip you to shreds. It is not nice at all. You know, a wild dog is not going to be nice. You know, certain things aren't going to be nice, and they're going to be protective, and some of them are just going to be out of control, not nice. And wolves aren't, and coyotes aren't. They'll get you, man. You know, I lived in Arizona. They'll rip you to shreds, man. They don't mess around. You know what I'm saying? So
like there was a time a couple of years back, I was bow hunting. I didn't have no gun on me, and other just me and my bow going through this trail. All of a sudden, I got a pack of wild dogs running towards me. There were about 10 of them, and I just stood still. And I had 1 arrow notch. There were 10 dogs. They just went right by me. Like, I mean, they didn't know I was standing there. Well, they ran right by me. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, stuff like that does happen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
hard to explain. You know, when you think you're a goner, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like, I guess your things will work out.
Yeah, and being what you've been through and Darrell's been through, it'll terrorize you. That you guys were attacked. You guys were, you know, I wasn't attacked. So I didn't get to experience the attack part. And now it's my eye vision so good that I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing creatures and on the side of the road and you know 6-7 feet away from me, and they're not touching me. And I'm like, okay, well, there's a couple things I do. I'm a spiritual guy. I'm not really religious at all, but I do often practice you know, our old Lakota religion, Darrell. And I pray, you know, to the star gods, and I get luck, man. I won $100,000 scratch off ticket, and the next day bought another ticket when I went to the store and won $50,000. And I prayed to them for that to happen. And I have witnesses here that would come right online right now and tell you. So, I mean, you know, it's a different, I'm not trying to bust anybody's religion. I you know, anybody that believes in anything, I accept them. Any color, I accept. Any religion, I accept. I don't hate nobody for nothing. That's what I do, and it works for me, man.
Hey,
so I feel going in where me and Darrell are going in, we're gonna be okay because I feel it. I feel that we're gonna go in and we're gonna make contact and be okay.
You guys going into Michigan? You say going into Michigan?
Huh?
But you guys say you're going into Michigan?
No. We have a certain location that we are going into that we found pyramids.
Yeah. What state? I mean, if you
can't give that out.
Illinois.
Illinois.
We're trying to get this out of them. We've been trying to get this out of them.
Are you coming to Southern New Jersey? It's a Southern New
Jersey. There's a few places we're going to cover, so you know.
Well, I can give you one hint. It's the other side of Texas. So That'll
Okay.
help me a little bit.
And I can't give you no hint. So,
Oh
See what
man.
it
Yeah,
is. Darrell doesn't want me to show up.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
if Darrell sees me standing there with my backpack, he's gonna be like, "Oh, Swamp's here."
you have
No,
to
I
catch
wouldn't.
him and ride along
Oh.
with him.
I wouldn't do you that way, Swamp Dog.
Yeah.
Daryl,
I
somebody
really
in
think it's
chat.
going to be okay. I'm a very spiritual person. I do wear a medicine
Yep.
bag once in a while. I have
Yep.
an Indian beads that I wear once in a while
Yep.
that bring me luck and all that. And I just feel that. I feel that. I feel that this is what I feel, and it might sound crazy to everybody. I feel that I've met Darrell for a reason, and the reason is to let everybody and to prove to everybody that these creatures do exist, and we have to accept it, or we won't be accepted. And that's how I feel. Mean? It's in me like that.
How I feel about
I don't know if they're going through me. I don't know.
This is how I feel about all
brother,
this. It's like there's a reason why I met Darrell and other people in the cryptid world. It's a big family.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good.
And there's a reason why that we all got connected. You know what I mean? There's a reason why. You know what I mean? God has a reason. You know what I mean?
Yes,
there's a reason why he hooked me up with Darrell. Darrell hooked me up with Josh, and Josh hooked me up with Daniel. And you know what I mean? I mean, you know, I believe that. You mean there's a reason.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, if I was in your case,
thank you, Swamp.
If I was in your case, Swamp, I think I'd be trying to kill these creatures to get revenge. You just attacked my wife, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'd be thinking. You know what I mean? I would be like, revenge, dude. You know, I'd be freaking all the time, waiting to get him back. I mean, I don't know.
But since that happened, Darrell will tell you how I feel. But since that happened, I've been wanting to kill this thing anyway. And I got lucky that I met this animal control officer and his game warden. See, because when we go in the woods, I carry my 357 and they don't care. And they want to hunt this thing just as bad as I do because it's doing some damage in my area.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about it on here, but they're practically hunting this thing down.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I don't care who's telling you to do that, game warden or whoever it may be. Me and you talked about this before, but you got to be really careful in those areas because I have no doubt that these creatures have a way of marking you. And when I say marking you, they can track you and find you.
I think that's what happened to me. I really, honestly, in my heart, I think that's what happened.
I believe what you're saying, Darrell. I believe that.
I believe that happened to me. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I never had a problem with Dogman in this area here. Only over there by Forest Q.
I live in northern Wisconsin, and I never seen nothing. And I got involved with Darrell, and then I started looking around my house. And I got them across the street. I got pictures of them looking through the trees at me. And I'm like, okay, they're going to get me, man. They're watching me. They're going to get me, man. Holy shit. Because I'm talking about them. And then I thought to myself, well, they haven't got me. And they, obviously if they wanted to get me, they could rip right through this shit and get me, or get me when I walk out. And I got my eyes open, but I'm like,
these creatures are everywhere. They're not just in one spot.
They are.
What would really surprise a lot of people is how close they are to downtown areas. That was really surprising people.
I've been hearing stories.
I used to get all kinds of calls and messages from people that want me to come to their place because these creatures coming in at 2:00 in the morning, raising up a dumpster and to rob the scraps from a restaurant at 2:00 in the morning. So they're downtown area too.
I had a guy call me about 2 weeks ago. He's from Los Angeles. He works for the city of Los Angeles.
I got all kinds of stuff out there.
He was telling me in Los Angeles,
people underground.
Yeah. But what he was telling me, the homeless people a lot of them go missing
Yeah.
in downtown Los Angeles, and they know it's these dogman creatures.
Yep.
But the cops don't make reports because they're homeless, and they're glad these things are getting eaten. I mean, that's what the guy actually told me. He said the cops are glad that these people are disappearing because they don't want to deal with them.
Yep.
And this guy works for the city of LA. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know.
Is he working at, is
There's
this
a lot
the
of
same
hills
guy?
out there.
This the same guy I've talked to that works at an airport?
No.
Okay.
This guy works for the city, and he does you know how the city's got tunnels underground and stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what he does.
Okay.
Yeah. But he basically told me, he said, you know, the homeless people, they tell him about this creature that takes the homeless. And this is downtown Los Angeles.
I got an email. I got to email this guy. He wanted to tell me some information. I asked him, "Can I interview you on YouTube?" And he said, "I'll think about it." I said, I'd have to cover my face, and maybe if you could change the voice." And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to change his voice. And so he told me that he worked for the government, and he also worked in a department in the White House. And he knows about the control burn, and the control burn was to keep these giant creatures back, and they would burn woods to keep these creatures back. And he also told me that there was a few things, and I really want to interview this guy because I just want everybody to hear it. And he told me there was several reasons, and he told me what they do is when these creatures get big, they go in and get the big ones out because they're getting too big and they don't want society to see them, I guess. I don't know. And they'll go in and control burn areas that these creatures come in and take over.
Wow.
I guess it keeps them back.
I don't know that I doubt that. I'm not sure that may be a true story there for sure. Because
the guy that
going on for decades, man. He said they've done this for decades to keep these creatures back. And I'm like, wow.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
Guy that I'm telling you about the rake, that's only about an hour from us.
Yeah.
Right now, he just messaged me. I'm not going to mention his name. I can't explain what I saw the other night, but tonight, when my daughter took the dog out to do its business, she came right back inside. She said the dog looked at the fence by the pool and heard a clicking sound.
Oh gosh, that's what I heard. The clicking. Yeah.
The clicking sound. She said it sounded like she said it sounded sounded like the noise the predator made in the movie, the clicking sound. And the dog was looking in the direction, didn't go do his business, wanted to come back in the house. The guy just texted me right now. Just right now, he just texted me.
Yeah, I believe it. I do. I know I know the sounds those things make, and they do click. They make a clicking noise.
So after I get off of here, I'm going to call him up.
I'll have to give you a call, Swat. I'll give you a call.
Honestly, Darrell, I think we should go over there. Really, this guy's terrified, man.
Yeah, give me a ring, and I'll go over there with you.
So you guys, you and Swamp are close. How far apart are you guys, Swamp?
We're about a half hour, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's somebody in chat too, Darrell, that wants you to know that they're here. I just lost. Is it Roger? Roger. Oh gosh, Roger Holler.
Squatching Holler. Yeah, Roger Williams. Send him hello. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's been making. He said he didn't know if you noticed he was in here or not, but he's been commenting on the entire time. So I thought.
Yeah, he actually Roger just actually posted one of the best pictures of Dogman that I've seen today.
Nice.
It's the top two has the hyena head.
Yeah, that's the one I see. That's the one I seen. The one with the hyena head.
Yeah, Roger posted one today in the group. It's absolutely amazing. What an absolute picture.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Roger is a Tennessee guy too.
Darrell, I know there's so many people out there, and I was watching the comments, and people want to know, who do they contact? Who do they call? Who do they? And you're the only one that I know that takes on this kind of work. I mean, I think there's definitely a need for it because there's so much that people don't understand about this. I'm
Well,
sure
I used to do it, you know, but for about 10 years we did it. We had 3 teams then, and that wasn't enough. We couldn't cover all of them, and that was Tennessee and Kentucky. So I was getting calls all over the country. People wanting us to come to their area. And a lot of people would pay us to come, you know, but it was just the point. There's not enough time in the day
Yeah,
to
it's hard.
do that. You can't cover that. It is hard. It's really hard.
I don't even have a podcast. I go on podcasts, but I don't even have a podcast. And you mean I'm a nobody in this, you know what I mean? But
you're not nobody, man.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, well, you know what I mean. But I get people to get a hold of me 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, I'm just an ordinary Joe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with my own problems.
you know, you've had some experiences, and people have heard your story on shows like this.
Yeah.
Coley's got a great show, and she had you on, and I've also got my buddy Ethan on, so it's pretty cool to have all 3 of us on. But when you hear those stories, other people hear it, and then they reach out to you because they don't know who to contact, like Coley's saying. So, you know, as far as Bigfoot goes, everybody for years reached out to the BFRO,
right?
Which I'm not a big fan of them because I don't think
No, me either.
They actually report like they should, but in their defense, they don't have enough people working it to be able to do that. So
I have people contact me, and they tell me they go to the BFRO first.
Yeah.
And they blow them off, or they act like they're lying, or they just, you know what I mean? And then
I got people
that
contact me, and they'll ask me, do I have creatures in my yard? And they'll send pictures, or they'll give me an area they want me to look. And, you know, I want to help them, but I'm busy. And like lately, I've been too busy doing what I'm doing with Darrell. You know, and I'm like, you know, so I'll just say, take some pictures and send them to me. I'll take a look and see if I see anything. And, you know, and then sometimes I don't want to tell them, you know, because I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, you know, this lady's asking me and I seen something pretty wicked. And now I want to tell her, you know, don't take your dog over by that tree or this or that, you know, and, you know, it's hard. It's just I want to help, but it's like I don't want to scare the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you've also got, you've got you're in Wisconsin. Swamp Dog and I are currently in Jersey at the moment. I'm from Tennessee, and I'm there too a lot. But you know, you got areas
from all different states will hit me up and say, "Hey, can you look?"
Yeah, that was my point I'm trying to make. I mean, you can't cover all these things. There's no way to do it. I probably get, realistically, I probably get about 50 or 60 messages a week about what they should do with their creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And first of all, I don't even know what kind of creature they have on some of these places. And, you know, it's hard for me to speculate, and they're trying to tell me what they think it is. And I always tell people, there's a girl from North Carolina that's calling me, that's messaging me every day. She's terrified. She lives in a camper at a campground, and her brother's next door in his camper, and this creature is coming out of the woods at night and was trying to get into her door on her camper.
Wow.
And I told her, I said, put up some trail cameras, put up some bright lights, and they'll stop coming. She did that, and they stopped coming.
Nice.
Then she let it go, and after a while, and forgot about it. And now they're coming back again, and she wants to know what kind of creature it is. I said, well, go outside where this creature pulls on your door handle. Pour some flour, just like your grandma made biscuits out of. Pour flour all over the deck right there in front of your porch. And then tomorrow morning, come take a picture and send it to me, and let me see what kind of footprint it is, and I'll tell you what you got. And she did that today. She's got a dog man. And now she's terrified. She don't know what to do. So tonight she left and went to her friend's house in town, 20 miles away.
It's scaring her right out of her home.
Oh, she's terrified. She's got 2 little kids too, one 7-year-old, one 9-year-old. And they're all living in a real nice camper that she decided to buy next to the river in North Carolina. And she's too scared to live at her house. So, you know, my opinion is, with this type of situation, there ought to be some type of service you could call to help out people in that type of situation.
It's like Ghostbusters, you know, cryptid
really
busters. Yeah, you need like a whole business of it, cryptid busters. But then you got to be able to cover all these different states. You know, it's like
there's no way you can cover them. No way.
There's no way. It would cost
maybe
too much
you could
money
put out
for
a
people to fly everywhere.
Darrell, I think you'd be excellent at it. You should put out a protocol of what to do, or at least collect the data, because you.
Well, I do that. I do that a whole lot, Coley. People contact me, and I tell them, let's like this girl. I told her what to do, and it worked. I didn't hear from her since like July or August. She said they left. They weren't bothering her. And then she forgot and wasn't cutting her light on again. And the cameras, she took off the trees. And then they started coming back again. So, you know, you can only help them as much as you can. And, you know, like I told her, I said, your brother's next door to you. Get him to do something. So he's scared of them.
I bet.
So, you know, if you know, first of all, if you're that scared of them, I told her, I said, take your camper and go to a different camping area.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's a question from Kurt W75. Any suggestions of any groups or individuals you would recommend in Pennsylvania? I talked to a few, but was wondering if there's any reliable sources that you would recommend that he talked to. That's what Kurt.
Mary Fabian has got a really good group in Pennsylvania. It's Pennsylvania Bigfoot, I think it's called. Mary Fabian, Fabiian. Mm-hmm. She's got a real good group. One of my admins, Sharon Buck, also lives in Pennsylvania, and she's one of the best I've ever seen with creatures up that area. But I think it's Northwest Pennsylvania Bigfoot group, I believe. It's Mary Fabian.
Well, what part of Pennsylvania he's talking about, though? I mean, Pennsylvania's big.
It is big.
Is it eastern, western, mid? You know.
It looks like Mary Fabian. I have her pulled up on Facebook. I'll go ahead and drop her link.
Yeah, she has a really good group.
Mm.
And I'm speaking at a conference up there in June of next year, but it's in I can't remember the name of the forest. It's way up.
You gotta be careful too who you call, because I was talking to this couple, and they've been having problems in West Virginia. So like they called the BFRO to told them about what's going on. So they sent 3 people out there, right? And they were out there for they were out there for 2 days. And they were doing all this crazy stuff, one knocking and hollering and all kinds of stuff. Well, listen, after they left and they went on their merry way, things got worse on their property. So you got to be careful who you call to go on your property, because people can make it worse than what it is.
Well, I learned that. Anytime you go into the creature's habitat and you're unwelcomed and you're banging on trees and spotlights in the woods and yelling and hollering, you're really wasting your time. You are making things worse. And, you know,
she was telling me, because her husband's a truck driver and he works the night shift. He's home every night, but he works the night shift. Now they're coming up to the house and they're banging on the house, banging on the door. And they wasn't doing that before until this BFR group came on their property. I mean, they just made it worse. So, you know what I mean? Be careful who you invite on your property to do research, because people, a lot of people don't know what they're doing.
I spoke with a native. I spoke with some older natives, and they told me that the dog man will taint with your mind, and once it starts to scare you, it won't stop. It likes to screw with you like that.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Darrell even knows that. It likes to screw with you. So like Darrell said,
in Lakota, it's called the habushka. And what it means is they control your thought train. So that's another part of them, like I was telling Swamp, of them putting a mark on you.
Yes.
They have that ability to do that in native lure, and I do believe they can do that. So there's too many people that have reported that. So
like Bigfoot, if you hear like a lot of encounters, people who had encounters with Bigfoot, a lot of times they don't even see the creature, but they're hearing walking them out the woods. You know what I mean? Running them out the woods. A dog man, they want you to see them. Like they'll come out and they make sure that you see them. You know what I mean?
Well, I got to tell you now, I mean, this may not be the most popular thing to say, but I've got a lot of friends that have dogmen on their property. They don't have any issue with dogmen. They don't bother them. So
really?
I don't think all of anything is evil. I think there's good and bad in everything.
That's what I think too. And I think if you recognize some of these entities, they won't mess with you. If you know they're there and you don't let them bother you, you don't scare me. Go ahead and bang this, do that.
I'm gonna put this on
my stream.
I'm gonna put this on social media. This is the first time I disagree with Darrell.
I'm sure you'll disagree with me too.
There's listen. My opinion, I don't ever think that there's a good dog man anywhere. You know what I mean? I think they're all evil.
I don't have any issue with that. My brother Martin Groves, he feels the same way. So that's
right. But
we can all disagree to agree. But I can tell you one thing: there are people that I personally know that have dogmen on their property, and they don't bother them. So
I don't know. I never heard such a thing. Everybody always told me, they were like, "Yo, these things are on my property. I'm scared to death." You know what I mean?
They might be scared of them, but their creatures aren't bothering them. Is my point. There's a difference between being scared of something and it actually bothering you. So, I know plenty of people's got Bigfoot on their property. They're terrified of them, and the Bigfoot's not bothering them.
Yeah, and I've heard.
If you've got a Bigfoot on your property, and you've lived on this property for a long period of time, I can assure you, if that Bigfoot was going to bother you, he would have already done it.
Right.
I've heard stories, and Darrell, you probably heard them, that like this older native lady told me that she had a dog man, and he was terrifying her, trying to mess with her brain. And that Bigfoot family moved into her property.
Sure, they'll come in and take care of her. Yeah,
and the dog man don't come back no more. And I'm like,
really? I heard that before. I heard the same thing too.
So I'm like,
the same story. Yep.
It's kind of strange, because now I'm seeing a lot more people tell me that they see dogmen and Bigfoot together. Back 20 years ago, you didn't hear of dogmen and Bigfoot together. But I'm starting to hear that now. I don't know why that is, but
I don't know.
And maybe it's Darrell's theory, and you know what I agreed with, and you didn't agree with.
Like everybody's gonna go on Facebook and say,
dogmen, and then they hooked up with the Bigfoot and had babies, and you know what I mean? Who knows?
I don't personally think that dogmen and Bigfoot can do that. I think it's two different creatures, but that's my opinion. But I think they're a whole different creature. Now, the Gugway is a similar type creature as Bigfoot, except the head has a snout, and they're very vicious and very aggressive. And I've never seen one personally, but I do know people who have seen them, and they're very dangerous. So There's a lot of creatures out there we don't hear about, like the cat people. I heard people talk about.
Yeah, I see a lot of them.
The wolf creatures. I hear about them all the time.
Mm-hmm. What was the one in Alaska? The one that looks like a beaver. What's that called? That?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I think I got him in one of my photos on my profile.
Yeah.
It's like a giant creature man with a beaver head.
There's a lot of creatures out there. I've seen some strange ones. I don't even know what they are. You know, I seen one of those crawlers or rake things in 2024 in the LBL, and it was clicking like you were talking about, making that clicking noise into the woods, and a couple more were trying to answer it back up over the hillside. So I also seen a creature in the LBL that looked like a grizzly bear, except that it had a head like an anteater. And I don't know what that was. I never seen that before. Me and Martin Groves both seen it. So
that one, yeah.
So when you see them, are they real tangible? Like you can grab a hold of them? Or are they like more like a spirit where you could put your hand through them?
Oh no, this one was sitting on the side of the trace, which is the main road that runs through the LBL, and you may not see a car at night on the trace at all. I mean, nobody's in there. It's very remote. But this creature was just sitting on the side of the road. When we went by, we stopped, backed up, tried to take a picture of it, and it ran. But it looked like a grizzly bear, but it had a head like an anteater. I don't know what it was.
Wow.
What about this? You mean the stories you hear like in South Carolina? You mean with the reptile people? You mean?
Oh,
yeah. You know what I mean?
I hear a lot of those stories down that way.
Yeah.
And have any of you guys heard of Wayne Wilson? Our girl Spiritual Ascension would like to know in chat.
I've heard of Wayne Wilson, yes.
That is, I'm not sure exactly who he is, but she wanted to know. She's into this topic too, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, Darrell, you're so looked to by so many people as an expert in this area. It's just, I mean, I know you have your work cut out for you.
There is no expert, and anybody that thinks they are an expert, you better look out, because there is no expert. So, you know, I'm just an experiencer, an encounterer, and I've been around a lot of these creatures, and I've been very blessed to be able to experience them, but at the same time, not so blessed, because it's not something I've always took privilege into being fond of. So it's what it is, and it's my life now. It's been that way since '92, and I can't do anything to change it. So
it was hard for me. I felt blessed, but then I felt twisted, and I would get emotional breakdowns. That's before I met Darrell. And I would cry for 3 days on and off, man. I seen some wild shit, and I know what I seen. I had witnesses. I mean, I'm like, it haunted me bad, you know. And it's a hard thing, but you know, I feel blessed now that at least I know a portion of the truth that, you know, like I said, our government keeps from us, and you know, and it's put me. I actually feel closer to God than I ever did, because like I said, I've never met God. And
you know, you're bringing up a point there, Ethan, that it's very important to me and Martin Groves and my team. It always has been. You know, all these creatures we're talking about, for some reason, know who Jesus Christ is. And when you mention the name of Jesus Christ, believe me, you get their attention. I can't explain how they look or how they act, but it's a very different look, and you get their attention very quickly. And they for some reason, have a fear of that.
Yeah, and Martin swears on it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no doubt. I've seen Martin go into the woods and just start chanting out a verse, and they would leave. So,
same thing with spirits, and like you go into ET and stuff too. I mean, you protect it. There is definitely that line.
Right.
I had this friend on Facebook. She was a female, but she was a witch. Well, she said she was a witch, and she practiced witchcraft and all that stuff. So I don't know how we got in the conversation, but you know, I mentioned Jesus, and she stopped being my friend.
Oh yeah,
seriously.
Probably you're probably lucky.
Being my friend on Facebook. She deleted me. No, she deleted me and everything. She's not my friend on Facebook anymore.
Oh,
she practiced witchcraft and all that stuff, and I just said something about Jesus. You know, joking around. She stopped being my friend. I'm serious.
Wow.
And when he
I'm
thought it
surprised.
was, when he thought it was, whatchamacallit, maybe it was her along the way,
I
sending you
don't
some
know.
love.
But sometimes you mention Jesus and things run away from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Darrell, we better have Martin right up front then, man.
Yeah.
You know what I
You know,
mean?
I tell you what, Remy, I don't have anybody on my team that I don't have 100% trust in, so I'm not worried about that. So,
Nice.
I've got my ways with Bigfoot. Martin's got his ways with Dogman. Mike Smith's pretty special in a lot of ways, and then you got Ron Moorhead that is literally not afraid of anything. So that point there, his high energy is pretty amazing in what he can do.
Nice.
Yeah, this is, you guys have to keep us all posted and updated on how this goes. I definitely, I'm excited to see. This is like putting the dream team together. So the world will be watching. The world will be
It
watching.
needed to be done, man. It really did. It needed to be done with Darrell, and put everybody together like that, and discover something that no one else has discovered, and bring out the truth if we can. So.
Yeah. There's a reason why God put all you guys.
No better person than Darrell and Martin and Ryan to come aboard to do that to me, with me. So it's like, and Mike throwing him in there, and like Darrell said, we'll have a few others,
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why God put all these guys together. I mean, there's a reason. You know what I mean? That what I mean? It's ain't nothing going to happen without God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Together we'll bring power.
Yeah.
And truth, and hopefully answers. Yeah.
I'll say it one more time. I'm ready to go right now.
Oh, I know you are. I feel you too. I'm like, yeah.
Let's go after that
Illinois. Ethan, are we going to Illinois? Is that where we're
going? You're still trying to get it out of me.
I want to go
Coley is this side of Des Moines.
Darrell will call me and he'll start talking about the location instantly, and I just won't even say anything because I'm like, don't talk,
Yeah, I asked him too.
Darrell, it was his idea, and it was a smart idea. And he's like, we shouldn't talk about the location. People will go there, and we don't want anybody going there while we're there or before us. And I'm like, you're right. So, we don't want any trouble with anything. So we don't want the governments there, nothing. We want to go in there on our own, nice and quiet, and come out.
The government's always watching.
Oh, I know.
Government's always watching.
Big brother.
You can count on one thing, man. There's always an eye in the sky. You can count on that.
Oh, yeah.
So true.
When this game war, when this animal control officer came to my house, wanting questions, wanted some help, he didn't know me from diddly squat. So how did he know where I lived and what truck I drove and everything else?
I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget that day. Swamp called me and he goes, "Man, the game and fish are here. What do I do?" I said, "Don't worry about it. You didn't do anything wrong. Just crazy creature."
Don't act nervous.
Yeah, that was the first one. I was on the phone. I said, "Please down, pick up. Please down, pick up. Please down, pick up." I was like, "Please pick up." I said, "Yo, I got these people in my house." Oh yeah.
I bet they didn't find that suspicious at all. So.
Oh, yeah. Big Brother's always watching, and they told me. They told me they watch all these podcasts, they read everything, they hear everything. It's true.
Yeah, they do. The rule of thumb: there's always two watching in every group.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back in 2022, I guess it was the first time that Martin Groves had ever told his story. He held it all those years with PTSD. The only person he told it to was me. And he told it in front of a huge audience at the Paris Landing Dogman Conference and brought the house down with the story. Well, the next day, true story, my phone gets hacked and fried. Martin's phone gets hacked and fried. Bart Nunley's phone gets hacked and fried. All three of us were there together for him to tell that story. And Martin gets run off the road on the way home and totals his RV.
Oh, God.
I'm not making this up.
No,
And
I know what they do. I know what they do.
And he
His
couldn't
bank
even
account.
use his credit cards. They were all
Yeah.
shut down.
I was gonna say I bet he got their bank accounts next.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mine at least once every 6 weeks is seriously hacked. I've got hundreds
Yeah.
of dollars in charges right
You
now.
just went through it again,
Oh,
didn't
man.
you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
did.
that's like my Facebook page. I mean, Swamp Dog Overland Adventures. I had that
Oh yeah, you did. You
for a
got yours
while,
hacked pretty good. I forgot about that.
and
Yeah.
all of a sudden I couldn't get in my page. And so you mean I had my wife try to fix it, and she couldn't fix it. Took it to the store. They couldn't fix it. So you mean I got a friend of mine that's a computer geek, and when he couldn't fix it, I said, okay, I got to start a new page. So you mean that's when you mean
I'll tell you the funny thing. It was I just had my Bigfoot group started, and we posted Martin's speech on the group page where everybody could see him tell his speech. Facebook comes in. I'm not making this up, and says you got 5 minutes to take that down. It's a bulletin across.
Wow.
Take it down, or we'll take your group away from you.
Wow.
I'm not making this up.
No,
And
this
my
is
moderator at that time, Krista, says, "Did you get that message I got?" I said, "Yeah, take it down," and we did. So we don't talk about any of that anymore. So
they're crazy. They are crazy. Some of the stuff. I lost my privilege. I lost so many privileges on Facebook, but I lost my privilege to get my messages in chronological order. So I get some from like 2 years ago. I said, who even knew that this was a thing?
well,
How do you lose
join the club? I'm with you. I get the same.
I feel that too. Yep.
I got a
so
message.
ridiculous.
I got a message like yesterday from somebody that sent it to me like 6 weeks ago. And I said, "Where did that come from?" And I answered back, "Well, it's too late now. I contacted you 6 weeks ago." I said, "Well, I just got it." And of course, the people think you just didn't contact them, and I did. I would have if I'd have gotten it, but I didn't. So I know what you're talking about, Coley.
Yeah, no, they boldly told me. I had like messages. It was crazy. I pulled it up like 2 years. Like, I mean, it was like all, and I was like, oh, okay. Now we're at a whole new level of petty right now. Facebook, a whole new level. But that's what happens. That's definitely what happens.
I mean, God bless them. If we didn't have them, I wouldn't be on here with you guys. So I give them credit for that. So.
That's true. That's true. It brings it. You all unite. That's what you have to do.
I had almost 400 friends on my page. I had almost 400 friends on my page. Now I'm down to 50 because I had to start a new page, and I'm trying to get all my friends back. And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. This is my 3rd YouTube account.
Oh,
it's my 3rd one. Yeah, I think the only one that I've really managed not to get yanked is X, and I think I'm at about 50K with them. But everything else they have taken so many times, and I'm just like, you can keep taking it, but I'm not going to keep stopping. It's you might hinder me along the way.
And it's all that work you put into it too. I mean, that's like, come on, man.
Yeah, but you lose a couple of them. The burn, it stings less and less. Let me tell you, it's still there's those moments.
There's no doubt about your frustration. I felt it this last week because I was trying to reach you, and after what you went through, I thought, oh my gosh, I know what's going on with her.
They had disabled my account, and they had gotten into 3 of my emails. Facebook was not even able to send me anything because my email was also hacked, and then they got my bank accounts. So that's where I was.
Your bank account too?
Oh yeah.
They hack your bank account?
Oh yeah, at least once every 6 weeks right now is where I'm at with that.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I don't make it more than I think probably 6 weeks without them expediting a new card and having to go, and I have to spend at least a good hour and a half on the phone with Discover.
You know what kills me about Facebook is they'll go to the extreme to do that type stuff, but then they'll let some idiot or an absolute fool post Matthew McConaughey killed in car wreck today.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And I just went off on it. I'm so tired of that crap.
So true.
And I mean, they'll let that go and let it be posted, but
Right.
then they'll take your stuff and make an issue out of it. So I don't understand the morals of Facebook.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just got penalized for something, demonetized on there again for something I said 2 years ago. I'm like, how many years are we going back here, Facebook? I mean, how petty can we possibly be? But yeah, that's there. Anytime you're monetized, though, and that's why I tried telling people. Anytime you rely on this, and this is like anytime you're monetized and it's not outside of it, you can count on losing it. If you don't, you're crazy because it's gonna happen.
That's really unfair. It really is, because it takes it's an effort to get monetized, and that's how you start getting paid. It's the same time, so it's not very fair for that to happen.
It's like maybe they do it because they don't want to pay you, or
I think it is. I think,
or maybe they do it because you got Darrell on here. They don't want to know the truth. You know,
no, they don't. They don't want the truth to be known. That's definitely. There's no doubt about that. The truth.
They're watching.
Ooh, they said something true. Yeah, keep everybody in line, and that's truthfully like what I think a lot of it is. But it also is you play with fire and you get burned. I guess isn't necessarily like I can touch the oven. I know it's hot. Like I learned, but then there's some things that are I'm so passionate about, like this and getting the truth out there. And like, I started off paranormal ET, but this is all a part of the picture. And there are consequences.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. It is. It's all connected.
It is.
It's all connected. One way or another, it's all connected.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, and well, I really want to thank all of you for coming on tonight, and I would love, Swamp Dog, you definitely, you're coming back on. I would love to get a panel together, Darrell too, and follow the journey. Ethan, please take good care. I know Darrell and Martin, and you got Ron, and you got these are great guys, but we want them safe.
I don't want anything to happen to none of these guys. They've been through enough already. And it's just, for some reason, I believe, like I said, we were brought together to prove this and to show everybody. And Darrell was chosen, and Ron was chosen, and Martin was chosen, and Mike was chosen, and whoever comes along, if somebody else gets along here, they'll be chosen as well. It was meant to be,
Yes, that's right. Everybody, you definitely got to stick together. And I think that if anything, this like shows even more Darrell. And I know you're so humble about this, and you don't want to say that you're an expert, but there's so many people out there that don't know who to contact. They don't know who to call. They don't know who to look to. And that's you, to so many people. And I just have to thank you. I really do, for all you do and all you sacrifice, because I know it's a lot.
Well, I'm just humbled by that, because I'm just a regular guy that's been through a lot of experiences and encounters, and I can assure you there is no expert out there. We're all learning. We're always going to be learning, and when we stop learning, you better get out of the field, because you don't get eaten up by a dog man or a Bigfoot. So. But Coley, thank you, sweetie, because
thank you, Cody.
I love you to death, and I come on your show anytime. So
thank you so much. Yes, and then definitely, I'm so excited for this journey for all of you, and I really appreciate it. So, for any last words that each of you have to leave our audience with?
I do. Make sure you check out Cody's show and stay always in sync with it to keep contacted with. Then you'll know what we're up to, because Cody will know.
And we have to find out their location. And once we do,
you ain't kidding. There
you go. Yeah, I told you.
The show's over. She's like, "Hey, listen,
I'll put it down tomorrow, and he'll slip up. He'll slip up tomorrow. I'll put him early in the morning.
It's east of Des Moines. That's all I can tell you. So,
east of Des Moines.
Yeah, Swamp, you holler at me, brother. Holler at me.
Yeah, you guys got a case to go look into.
I want to look at that deal with that rate thing. That with that guy? You know what I mean?
Give me a call, brother. I'll hook up with you.
All right.
That's awesome. And then Swamp Dog, any last words you want to leave the audience with?
Just be careful when you go out of the woods. Be alert. You know what I mean? Keep your hearing and your eyes open, and because there's things out there, and it don't matter where you at. In Florida, Georgia, could be California, New York. There's always something around. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful out there and watch over your kids. I mean, when you go out in the woods with your kids, and don't let them walk too far away from it, because I'm telling you, just like that.
Yeah, don't let your wife get out of the truck either. So remember that. So
yeah, well, at least I had a gun on my lap. At least I had a gun on my lap. You know what I mean? No, she's still alive. You know what I mean?
I don't have a wife, but I don't have a wife, but if I had one, I wouldn't let her get out of the truck.
Well, what are you gonna do? I mean, she had to have her privacy. You know what I mean?
Just kidding you, Squaw.
I was only 5 feet away.
Well, you got a 44 Magnum.
Hey,
when you got a 44 Magnum, you don't have much to worry about.
No. Now I carry the 357. I don't carry the 44 no more. Now I carry the 357. So
I guarantee you one thing: Ethan and I are carrying some. We're carrying some grenade launchers.
Oh yeah,
right. But you guys, you have to take some pictures. I have to see those. I'm envisioning Ron on the biggest horse. I mean, like this has got to be. I mean, just the rollout alone has.
Well, it kind of left Martin in a better position because he's moving kind of slow. So now that he's got Ron, he thinks, well, I got a chance now.
I love it. That's great. And Darrell, is there any, I mean, there's so many people out there that are looking to you, and whether or not you consider yourself an expert, the rest of the world, I think, does. And just to have you there gives a lot of people peace at heart. So is there anything that you would like to leave leave the audience with?
I really would. Thanks everybody for watching, and tune in to Coley and tune in to Two Real Cryptid Legends. That's Ron and I. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, and we will be in touch soon. I appreciate each and every one of you. That's awesome. So that was absolutely amazing. That right there. I know Darrell, gosh, he's so absolutely brilliant and amazing. And I know so many people look to him, and I can't wait to see the journey behind this, because this is definitely a brilliant team. They're so passionate. And so it just absolutely just blows my mind just to listen to all of this stuff that goes on that people are not even aware of. They're not aware of. And a lot of it it's scary to so many people. They don't know what to do with this, or, creatures and people are getting hurt. There are people that are missing. There are things that are happening here, and it's not, unfortunately, being talked about. So I definitely encourage each and every one of you to go to Darrell's group on Facebook. I'm going to, again, you can check out the link. It'll be in the description. Definitely, it is a group that is well monitored. It's a safe place to go. It's Bigfoot believers and other creatures. I'm going to go ahead, and I have it on the ticker, but I'm going to pull it up here. So maybe I can't do it, but I will. Go to the description and you can see that. But what an amazing, they're just amazing group of people. So I look forward to keeping up in touch with them and on their journey and everything else. So if you haven't already, have an amazing weekend. We'll be seeing you tomorrow night. I'm not exactly sure what the schedule's like. I'm still getting it put back together after I piece together my bank account and my Facebook and my emails. But I do appreciate everybody and their patience and understanding, because it's definitely can get a little murky out there. So on behalf of SNX Radio, I'm Coley, and thank you for taking the journey into the unknown. And again, have everybody have a safe and wonderful weekend. And until next time. I'm going to.
Unraveling the mystery, secrets in the night. We travel through the cosmos, ready for the flight. Together we'll shine, casting shadows aside, in the heart of the rhythm where our dreams collide.
Join the Subnation X quest, the truth is our guide in the vast expanse. It's where we reside, hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the grooves around us, everything's alright.
On the Subnation X quest, the truth is our guide in the vast expanse. It's where we reside.
let's explore the spots. Heavy bass drops with tight beats.
Illuminate the shadows, the echo of our call.
On this roller rink we'll never fall.
Feel the energy rising, can you sense the spark? As we dive deeper into the cosmic arc.
Stories of the universe, mysteries unfold. In the heart of SNX, where the truth is gold. Every note we play, every line we write, crafting our legacy, shining ever bright.
SNX radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light. In this cosmic dance, we're connecting the dots.
Tune into the frequency, let's explore the spots. Here in the spotlight, we're taking our turn. With the fire in our hearts, let the passion burn. SNX radio's call, ringing through the air. Together we rise, together we dare.
So join us now, let the rhythm flow. With SNX radio, we're ready to go. Unraveling the mystery side by side.